at the put colonialism on trial. And Uhuru, we're getting started. Okay, so the parties laid out the way that white people can be in principled solidarity with the African Revolution against colonialism. So now we're going to hear from Secretary General of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Alison Hoehne, on how to join the African People's Solidarity Committee.
Uhuru, unity through reparations. From sea to shining sea, indigenous people must be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine must be free. Free land at Peltier, not one more year. We're going to do them all, so you might as well get used to it. Okay, one Africa,
one nation,
one nation,
one Africa.
Hands off the Uhuru 3, hands off Africa. Okay, now I'm going to say hands off Uhuru 3, and you're going to say African people will be free. Hands off the Uhuru 3, African people will be free. Uhuru. I'm really honored to be here today, and just to say this is the most incredible convention of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement that I've ever attended, and I just want to salute the amazing convention and all the participants and all the leaders and speakers. And you know, wow, this is history in the making. And I'm just going to talk to you briefly about another way you have joined Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and that is powerful. It's an incredible organization led by the African People's Socialist Party and by the African People's Solidarity Committee under its leadership to bring thousands and millions of North Americans and Europeans and colonizers from throughout the world into this movement under the leadership of the African Revolution, so that we can make a serious self-criticism and join humanity for the first time in history. So that is profound that you've done that. But we also want to let you know there's another organization that you can be in, that you can participate in, and that is the African People's Solidarity Committee that the chairman and the African People's Socialist Party founded in 1976 and has talked about so much throughout this process today, you know, yesterday and today, you know, the need for it because, you know, as the chairman said, white people were mobilized by the African Revolution of the 60s. But then when we were called on to actually take a stand under the leadership of the African movement, we said, hell no, we're going to find the anti-war movement. We're going to find the women's movement, the gay rights movement, et cetera. But this time the chairman has changed history forever. As Vladimir Putin said, taking leadership from the chairman, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. So that shows who's leading who. So, you know, I just want to salute Chairman Amalia Shatella just for profound leadership, as has been stated and recognized in here. But, you know, just to see what the chairman has built over 50 more years, the African Revolution internationally, we heard from Director Tabari, you know, just showing the international movement and all the colonized people under the chairman's leadership and the party's leadership uniting now. But the African People's Solidarity Committee is an important part of this strategy that the chairman laid out in the 70s for the completing the African Revolution of the 60s, because he calls, for the first time in history, he's changed the whole dynamic. He said, you know, he believed that North Americans, the white people, the colonizer, can become anti-colonial, can become African internationalists, can become human, you know, in this lifetime, and participate under the leadership of the African movement for liberation and to smash this vicious, foul system forever. We can be on the right side. And he believed in us when we didn't believe in ourselves that we could do that, you know, and he transformed the reality forever. He showed us, you know, the chairman in 1976 at the founding conference, and Chairwoman Penny Hess was at that conference and heard the call and has been a profound leader in the African People's Solidarity Committee ever since. I want to salute Chairwoman Penny Hess, because APSC did not look like this in 1976. It didn't even look like this in 1986. The party had to struggle and fiercely forge the unity from the white population, from the colonizer population, and led us and taught us. I was just talking to Comrade Redbeard yesterday, remembering hours and hours sitting on the floors of the party's house in San Francisco in the late 70s, learning African internationalism from the chairman and from party leaders, and that was mind-blowing. We had no idea what we were really trying to grapple with, but it finally took. But Chairwoman Penny led that in a most profound way and courageously forged APSC, and struggled and, was out there on the front line all the time, interpreting African internationalism for what that meant for us, what then we had to do, what our role and responsibility was. And she was the first person to build real, genuine material solidarity, reparations, institutions. It was turned it around from being a charity organization, to being a real, genuine solidarity organization under the party's leadership. And I also really want to salute Deputy Chair Ona Zanea. We saw the incredible work that has been done by Deputy Chair Ona when we went on the tour today. I mean, that's not even all of what she does at all, but we've seen how Deputy Chair puts, the analysis and the vision that the chairman has for African self-determination and dual power into practice on the ground, so the African community could grasp it and see what power in the hands of the African working class looks like. And just, it was such an honor to work under Deputy Chair's leadership. And, we see the colonial conditions. I have to say, when I first came to St. Louis, I totally couldn't believe it. I mean, it's like, what? Because I lived in Philly doing solidarity work in Philly for 33 years, and I was used to the colonial conditions. I'd seen it. People used to say North Philly looked like Beirut. Well, North St. Louis looks like Gaza. I mean, it's like, this is the reality of colonial terror, that is reigned on the African community. Yeah. And, the party, the African People's Education Defense Fund, is the ones under Deputy Chair's leadership that is completely transforming that and turning that around. So, I just wanted to say a couple of things. Chairman fought for this. He envisioned this. He knew that we could become anti-colonialists. We could participate in this revolution because it's our revolution. It's our future. And I just want to say, for all of us here, I'm talking to you, you can be part of the African People's Solidarity Committee. That's a higher level of organization. It's a cadre organization. It's a revolutionary organization. And for the white population, for the colonizers, to say, we're going to go all the way. We're not going to just do one task or this or that. I mean, the people here do incredible work. And a lot of you, have for many, many years, or just recently joined, or just today joined, but you do amazing work. But it can be under a revolutionary organization and more accountable to the African People's Socialist Party, and say that we're not going to stop. We're not going to go back. We're not going to waver. We're not going to have one foot in imperialism and one foot in the revolution. We're going to go all the way. We're going to defend Chairman Omali Yeshitela. We're going to defend the party. We're going to build a movement that is, hundreds of thousands of people, from the colonized nation saying no more genocide in our name. We're going to bring all the Aaron Bushnells into this organization. People are waking up, and this is our time that we really have to take responsibility to bring in all the resources needed to build this movement and support the party in the victory for African people. So you can participate and join this organization. And we're having a study this week. It should be in your packets. If not, get one from the back. There's a study that the African People's Solidarity Committee is leading. It's Wednesday, March 13th, and it's called 14 Reasons for White People to be Organized under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. We're going to study the 14-point working platform of the party. And then you can also, so you can register to that, go to the back. And we're also, you can go to apscuhuru.org/join to join the African People's Socialist Party. And don't be afraid of it. You know, it's like, don't be afraid, or, you know, I've got a family, or I have a job, or I have this or that. No, this is what we have to commit to. This is our future. If you want to do something good for your children, join the African People's Solidarity Committee. Be like Penny Hess. Be like Jesse Nevel. You know, be like Kitty Riley. Be like all the amazing comrades in the African People's Solidarity Committee and participate in this organization. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you, SG Alley. We are now going to hear from FoFeet to give the solidarity statement from InPDUM. Thank you, Uhuru.
Oh, comrades. See, I can get up here when I want to. Uhuru, it's been a treat this weekend. Uhuru, I am FoFeet Alkebulan delivering this statement on behalf of President Matsemela Odom, the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement, headquartered here in St. Louis, Missouri. Like I said, I am FoFeet Ushairi Alkebulan, and I am a lifetime member of InPDUM. I would like to begin by saluting Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Deputy Chair Onazine Yeshitela. I would like to salute all the leaders of the National Central Committee of the African People's Socialist Party. I would also like to salute leaders of the African People's Solidarity Committee and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. In specific, InPDUM would like to salute Chairwoman Penny Hess of the APSC and Chair Jesse Nevel of USM. As most of us know, they stand alongside Chairman Omali Yeshitela as members of the Uhuru 3. They have been politically persecuted by the United States government for not only their support for African liberation, but a movement for African liberation in which white people abandon their own interests and work in the interest of African working class and to overrun the colonial mode of production. USM is our fraternal mass organization. USM is the fraternal mass organization under the leadership of the vanguard party of the African working class, the African People's Socialist Party. USM and its convention, USM and this convention represent the party's strategy to revive and complete the African Revolution of 1960s, the Black Power movement. As well, it is a crucial part of the efforts to push back the colonial states' assault on the democratic rights. Can I read this like that? On the democratic rights of freedom of speech and the ridiculous charges against the Uhuru 3. No More Genocide in Our Name is a strong title of this convention, and we salute USM for such an appropriate title. The collective declaration of No More Genocide in Our Name is an anti-colonial statement that rejects the colonial mode of production. The process through this European and white people have rescued themselves by the expense of Africans, indigenous people, Palestinian, and all the colonized people of the world. The revolutionary call, "No more genocide in our name," is not a plea, but instead an African internationalist vision for the future. It understands that the true way forward is the defeat of colonialism, the colonial mode of production, the pedestal of African lives, labor, and value. It is a demand for a new set of global relations. InPDUM's leading campaign since 2015 has been Africans Charged Genocide. In the 1950s, African attorney William Patterson headed the similarly named We Charge Genocide campaign. He too was persecuted and even imprisoned for his work. Pressed with the assumption that the U.S. government suppression of the We Charge Genocide petition was a failure for the campaign, Patterson remarked the opposite. The attack on the U.S. government signaled the success of the campaign. Likewise, the U.S. attack against us, our movement, signals the success of our campaign as well. We are winning. It is not simply a slogan, it's the truth. Wow. This successful convention and the strength of the Hands Off Uhuru defense campaign are evidence of this successful and our vanguard position. In closing, InPDUM expresses its full support for USM and calls on all white people who want to be in full solidarity with the African Revolution. Solidarity is more than well-wishing. It is sharing the same fate. We call on all of you to get organized. Join USM, join InPDUM, grow the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. Come to Tampa this September when we put the colonial government on trial. Hands off Uhuru.
Hands off Africa.
Hands off Africa.
Hands off Uhuru.
Drop the charges against the Uhuru 3. Uhuru.
Thank you, FoFeet. Thank you, InPDUM. And now I'd like to quickly bring up Halley Murray, Chair of Uhuru Planet Reparations Apparel, to tell you about the merch in the back.
Uhuru, everyone. Drop the charges now, Uhuru. So just real quick, 30 seconds. Thank you, Lauren, and salute the Uhuru Solidarity Convention. This is my 9th one. It really won me to be an organizer. And even at my first one, I brought a bunch of patches to sell, like, oh, I could help raise money for the movement. And now I'm the chair of Uhuru Planet Reparations Apparel. It's really an honor. I just wanted to explain for just a quick second what we are. But first I wanted to ask, a little interactive. If you're currently wearing an Uhuru Planet Reparations Apparel design, could you please stand up and do a little model that people can look around and see? We have almost 40 designs in our, sorry. Thank you. Salute to the models. We have almost 40 designs in our collections, and these are just some more. It's truly the whole theory of African internationalism coined by Chairman O'Malley, condensed into a snapshot of a bold propaganda statement. So Uhuru Planet is an institution of Black Star Industries under the leadership of Deputy Chair Ona Zane-Yashatella. And it's the economic development institution of the African People's Solidarity Committee, which I really unite with Secretary General Ali's summation of what is APSC. I'm a proud member of APSC as well as the St. Louis unit chair for our work. And when you purchase from Uhuru Planet, you're directly supporting APSC's work to keep the Uhuru Solidarity Center open and running. And when you wear Uhuru Planet, you are keeping the Uhuru 3 out of prison because you're raising the demand. You know, we sell the shirts that say hands off Uhuru, that we have shirts people are wearing here that say I support reparations to African people. So it's really important to support this institution. Also, we're $200 away from our sales goal for the weekend. That's 8 shirts. Just saying, if you haven't got your shirts yet, I encourage you to check them out. We also distribute the other merchandise from the movement from the Burning Spear Media. We have the books for sale, Salute Director Kile. So I'll just leave it at that, and I'd be happy to answer questions or even do custom items. So thank you.
Thank you, Halley. Now we are going to hear a testimonial video from Wendy about why she is a part of USM.
Uhuru, Wendy Snyder here. When I was in my 20s, it was 1992, and I was looking for a way to take a stand and also a place to belong. I'd witnessed a number of world events which had blown my mind, and that included the anti-apartheid movement in the 80s, the Iran-Contra scandal, which exposed the US weapon sales to Iran to fund death squads in Central America. And around that same time, I'd learned about Palestine as the first Intifada kicked off. In 1990, I protested the Gulf War and the US slaughter of thousands of Iraqi people. And then in the spring of 92, an all-white jury acquitted 12 Los Angeles police officers in the Rodney King beating, which was caught on videotape for the world to see. So when I attended the Conference Against Genocide at the Oakland Uhuru House and heard Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Chairwoman Penny Hess, I was relieved to find an organization which exposed all the contradictions of this system and also welcomed me in. And so I joined, and Uhuru Solidarity is where I found camaraderie and developed confidence as a white person organized under the leadership of the African Liberation Movement. So right now is the critical time for masses of white people to join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We must say hands off the Uhuru 3 and stop the government targeting of Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Don't let solidarity with African liberation be silenced. And also, don't let solidarity with African, Indigenous, and Palestinian liberation be divided. We must say hands off Uhuru, free Palestine, free Leonard Peltier, and unity through reparations, all in one breath. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you, Wendy, for that wonderful testimonial. USM is the principled way to join the fight against colonialism and join the African Revolution in solidarity with African people, Palestinian people, Indigenous people, and all colonized people. So now we are going to get into the real work of USM. This panel will be about USM's goals for 2024, strategy, campaign calendars, and this is where you'll learn how to be a part of the movement, how to build branches, how to volunteer, how to join a committee. So please welcome back Chair Jesse Nevel.
Uhuru. Unity through. My AV multitasker. Okay. First of all, I just want to say this has been an absolutely historic and profound day for the world, not just for us here in this convention. This has been absolutely incredible. And that panel, wow, that panel on Put Colonialism on Trial was amazing. So I just want to give a round of applause to everybody that spoke in that panel. And just the caliber of discussion that we have the honor to have access to being here at this convention is just really, really profound. I just want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela, salute Chairwoman Penny for those presentations, as well as Efia Nwangaza and Director Tafari Mugeri and Director Akile Anai, and just the brilliant, brilliant presentations that all of them gave in that panel. And I also want to salute the tour this morning and the leadership of Deputy Chair Onezene Yeshitela. That was very moving and very inspiring. And just like the chairman said, seeing that sign that says building the independent African economy, that sign that is there every single day now, people who drive past that building will see a sign proclaiming building the independent African economy and just how powerful that is. So, and I also want to salute Secretary General Alley. And she was ending her presentation with saying, be like Chairwoman Penny, be like Kitty Riley. And I unite with all of those. Be like Janice Cant, be like Maureen Wagner, be like Secretary General Alison Hoehne, be like S.G. Alley. And, you know, Chairwoman Penny Hess and S.G. Alley and, you know, Maureen and Janice and Raya and Ruby and Sandy, and I know there are people I'm not naming, and I'm Kitty, of course, our comrade Kitty Riley, our incredible, incredible comrade. And these are veterans of the African People's Solidarity Committee who have modeled this stand now for almost 50 years, showing us what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it means to live your life in solidarity, in genuine principled solidarity with the African Revolution. And when I first joined, we're going to talk about building the Uhuru Solidarity Movement today. When I first joined the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, it was in 2010, and there has always been, we're going to show some pictures later, the African People's Solidarity Committee has always done mass work. Even before there was something formally called the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, the African People's Solidarity Committee, under Chairwoman Penny, under Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the party, has always made one of its objectives to be out amongst the masses of white people, winning the masses of white people to the understandings of reparations and solidarity. There were things like Uhuru Reparations Now Brigade, Uhuru Solidarity Committee, and various other kinds of even Burning Spear Solidarity Committees, the Desi Woods Solidarity Committees, and other kinds of formations that did the work of organizing out amongst the masses of white people. And it all kind of coalesced at a certain point into a mass organization called the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, which would have the job of every single day, no matter what else is happening, being out there and organizing the political front of the African People's Solidarity Committee. So when I first joined this movement, I was given a document, a POA, a plan of action that APSC had put together, and it was called the Political Front Commission of the African People's Solidarity Committee, to formally establish Uhuru Solidarity Movement as an organization with a constitution, with an elected leadership body. And the leader of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement at that time was Secretary General Alison Hoehne. So I just want to salute S.G. Alley and salute her incredible leadership. And that's just a tiny reference to the incredible scope of work that S.G. Alley has done over many years in the Uhuru Furniture Store in Philadelphia, and just constantly building the political presence and political front of APSC on 1,000 different fronts. I also wanted to say that I appreciated what John McCarthy said yesterday about the fact that they are trying to criminalize what they call foreign ideas. And it reminded me of something I meant to say actually in the panel about the Uhuru 3, that one of the things they're saying about Chairman Omali Yeshitela's speech in order to justify criminalizing it is that the chairman was engaged in spreading what they call Russian propaganda and disinformation. And they said that disinformation, according to the United States government, disinformation includes information that is true. So disinformation, if you look it up in the dictionary, it means falsehoods, spreading falsehoods. But they said they were saying things that were disinformation. They were saying lies that included the truth. And they said what defines disinformation, even if it's true, is if it reduces trust in the United States social system and Western society. And that's their words. I am not even paraphrasing. They said anything that reduces trust in the institutions of the United States government and Western society, even if it's true. The United States was built on slavery and genocide against African people. That's true. But if it reduces your love for this system, it's disinformation. And for a government to threaten to put Chairman Omali Yeshitela in prison for saying the truth because it makes America look bad is obviously an expression of serious weakness and desperation on their part. That is not a strong imperialism. That's saying you can't say that. It's true, but it makes us look bad. So we're going to put you in prison. And that brings us to the trial. And I just want to say the trial, September 3rd, everybody raised their hands yesterday that you're going to be there on September 3rd for the trial. And as one of the Uhuru 3, I've had people ask me, how do you feel? How do you feel? I feel excited. I am excited. We are putting the state on trial. The African People's Socialist Party is putting colonialism on trial. And we did an interview recently, and it was an honor. It was an interview that had the chairman, Chairman Penny, and myself were interviewed by this podcaster. And towards the end of the interview, he started saying, well, Chairman and Penny and Jesse, you know, I hear what you're saying and all, but this is the FBI we're talking about. I mean, these guys are serious. This is the FBI, you know. I mean, the FBI, you know, they have a 97% conviction rate. You know that, right? They have a 97, he must have said it about 5 times. And the chairman said, slavery was a 100% rate for African people. The rate of slavery was 100%. That's not a reason to give up and not fight. That's why you fight. The fact that this government 97% of the time gets away with locking up African people for nothing is why you fight, is why this system has to be overturned. Not to mention the fact that they have a 97% conviction rate because most of the time people plead guilty. If most people facing charges under this system on the federal court or state or county or state level went to trial, the whole judicial system of the United States would crash. This thing runs on terror. That's why they have a 97% conviction rate. And like the chairman has taught us, when we organize, when we fight, we can win. We can win. And that's what this is about. So in that light, I wanted to say, we've got a little less than 6 months before this trial. And the most important thing that we have to do in this next 6 months is build the Uhuru solidarity movement like never before. And I wanted to salute and shout out our newest members and renewals. So in the past 2 days, either renewing your membership or becoming a member for the first time, we have Angelica, Anne, Opa, Julie, Josh, Dylan, Jan, Jamie, Icarus, Corey, John, and Mary. So that is 12 people who have joined or renewed their membership. If you are not a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement and you did not hear your name just now, I encourage you to become a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement by the time this presentation is over, to either raise your hand and say you want to join, to go to the back and get signed up, to go on your phone and go to uhurusolidarity.org/join, or if you're online, to go to uhurusolidarity.org/join and become a member. Join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And our goal is for 20 people to lead this convention who walk through the doors just wanting to learn what this is about, walking out the doors, members of this organization ready to organize. So just wanted to say that. And now I would like to invite onto the stage with me some of the incredible comrades who are leaders in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So I'd like to invite up Comrade Jamie, and I actually don't have a list of everybody. So, okay, Jamie, Amanda, I know is coming up, Leah, Len, Comrade Len. I'll give a proper introduction in a moment. Let's bring everybody up here. Comrade Wendy, yes, Wendy Snyder, Kara, Redbeard. Janet Van Fleet is online. Okay, great. We're gonna need more chairs probably. Oh, and our MC, Comrade Lauren, come on and join us. Okay, so we need more chairs. Are we all sitting? Yes, yes. Shout out to our logistics team, by the way. Just really want to salute Comrade James and all of the amazing forces on the logistics team. Okay. All right, so what we're going to be talking about now is how we build the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So we can go to the next slide. So we want to begin by once again saluting our leadership, the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omale Shatella and Deputy Chair Onezene Shatella, who made all of this possible. And next slide. Also, again, salute Chairwoman Penny Hess and salute the leadership and the veterans of the African People's Solidarity Committee. And I want to salute the USM National Steering Committee, who are featured on screen here. I want to salute our incredible Vice Chair and National Treasurer, Amanda Carlozzi, Uhuru. And I want to salute our dynamic and incredible membership coordinator, Len Demmer, Uhuru. And oh, do we have Sarah online? Okay, I also want to salute, she wasn't able to be with us in person, but out of Minneapolis, our very powerful and wonderful comrade, Sarah Ritterspa, who is many different things. You can see how many roles we got right there. The National Secretary, the NTU Volunteer Coordinator, and the coordinator of our birthday fundraisers campaign, Comrade Sarah Uhuru. And we have joining us here on stage, our Western Regional Coordinator, Comrade Wendy Snyder. Uhuru. Joining us online from Louisville, we have our social media coordinator, Virginia Wilson. Uhuru. And here from St. Petersburg, Florida, we have our Southern Regional Coordinator, Jamie Simpson. And the newest addition to our National Steering Committee, we have Comrade Lauren Filla, our Student Commission Organizer. And we also have joining us on stage other amazing comrades who are working in the San Francisco Bay Area and in Oakland to keep the Uhuru Solidarity Movement strong and growing. We have with us Redbeard and Kara. Uhuru. And of course, our incredible comrade on so many levels, Leah Fifield from Minneapolis, joining us on stage. And Leah is, no. Yes. We have Leah, who is the USM RLP Grants Coordinator, working on the incredible Grants Committee of the Office of Deputy Chair, also organizer in Minneapolis, the project director for this convention, and many other roles, and the top fundraiser in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, bringing in thousands of dollars every month through incredible reparations treatments that Leah carries out in Minneapolis. And also online, we have Janet Van Fleet in Tacoma, Washington, who this last year built a day of reparations in Tacoma and is working to really build the Uhuru Solidarity Movement there. So we want to shout out our amazing comrade, Janet. Uhuru. All right, and hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Okay, all right, so next slide. Brendan. Okay, Brendan is Brendan on security right now? Yes, I do want to salute Brendan, who won't be able to actually present during this workshop because he's on security. But I want to salute our amazing comrade, Brendan McCoy, who is not only just a dynamic and powerful local organizer with the Uhuru Solidarity Movement here, but also coordinates the Reparations in Action podcast under the leadership of Chairwoman Penny, and also has organized damn near every family member that he can possibly reach to become members, to become real, sincere supporters and members of this movement. And just an incredible force that we love and respect. So, Uhuru. I also want to acknowledge Comrade Johan Bedingfield, who wasn't able to be with us in person, but this is another steadfast, dedicated, loyal, incredible, courageous comrade of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, based out of Largo, Florida. who has played such an incredible role for many years, at least 15 years now, if not possibly close to 20 years, organizing with the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So I want to shout out our amazing and beloved comrade, Hoehne. And I also wanted to mention, there was one other person. Oh, okay. There's a lot of people. Okay. We actually have a salute to our members coming up later in this presentation, but I'm preempting that. Diane Tournay. Uhuru to Diane Tournay. Diane Tournay is building and organizing in Gainesville and is also the media coordinator for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, coordinating media for this convention, and works with comrade Sandy Forrest, who is doing media work for the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. So I just want to shout out Diane. And I know I'm leaving people off, and I am self-critical for that, but we'll hopefully be mentioning more as we go forward with our presentations. So if we go to the next slide. So our goal this year must be to reach millions. We're talking about building to a membership of at least 1,000 people, but even that is just a stepping stone towards our real goal, which is not to just speak to a few people at a time, but to break through, to be able to reach, influence, and win millions of white people with the anti-colonial message of African internationalism, with the understanding that what makes this organization unique, what makes it unlike anything you are going to find anywhere in the world, is that we are under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. We were created by the African People's Socialist Party. These are our principles of unity on our next slide. 1, we are under the leadership of the party. 2, we organize in the white community for reparations to African people. And 3, we stand in solidarity with African self-determination. We are the organization Aaron Bushnell was looking for. We are the organization through which Aaron Bushnell's actions, decades of work to win white people to end our complicity with genocide, reverberated. So we salute Aaron Bushnell, and we say that we are, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement is the organization under the leadership of the African Revolution that gives us the ability to channel the rage, the despair, the disgust that we feel with this social system, with our relationship to this social system, and channel it into a strategy, into action as part of a strategy that is changing the world. It is how we say we will no longer be complicit in genocide. And I really appreciate the point that Chairwoman Penny made, that we can say no more genocide in our name, but we also have to say no more genocide by our hands. No more genocide by our hands that we have carried out in the government's name. That's what we have the opportunity to rectify through joining the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So we're talking about mobilizing for the trial of the Uhuru 3, which is really their trial, putting the colonial state on trial, September 3rd, 2024. So this is the context in which everything we're about to talk about with building USM this year is taking place. And also tied to the hip of that struggle, of that campaign, is our relationship to this incredible movement of free Leonard Peltier, to say not one more year, free Leonard Peltier. Leonard Peltier's parole hearing, his last parole hearing, is expected to take place this year in October, right after the trial of the Uhuru 3. But the Free Leonard Peltier campaign and the Hands Off Uhuru campaign's commitment is that it doesn't even get to October, that Leonard Peltier goes home long before that parole hearing in October comes around. So now I'm going to turn it over to our membership coordinator, Comrade Len, to talk about our goals for building membership. Uhuru.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Oops. Okay, so our membership goals for 2024. One is that we want to reach, influence, and win millions of white people to the leadership of the party, the chairman, and the stand of white solidarity with Black Power. 2 is that we want to win massive support from the white community for the Hands Off Uhuru campaign and the demands to drop the charges against the Uhuru 3, and as we just saw, to free Leonard Peltier. And 3 is that we want to expand USM's membership to 1,000 by the end of 2024, and that's just the beginning. and build at least 10 branches of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement by the end of the year. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like and what that means. So, how we win members is by talking to other white people about the significance of being a white person organizing under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And I just want to talk a little bit about, how we can deepen our articulation of what it means to be a member of USM. So what it means to be a member of USM is connecting with other white people who, like you, want to take a stand for reparations to African people. It means being under the leadership of the African Revolution, the African People's Socialist Party, who are incredible leaders with more than 50 years of experience in fighting for liberation. Being a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement means getting connected to all oppressed people of the world through our relationship to the African Revolution, upon whose backs this entire system was built upon. It means participating in something practical and concrete that is changing the world. It also means being a part of a well-organized strategy with the ultimate goal to end colonialism and to win liberation for African and all colonized people. So everything that we do, it moves forward a larger strategy to end colonialism and win liberation for African people. So yes, we protest, but when we go to a protest, it's more than just a protest. When we do an outreach table, it's beyond just doing an outreach table. Everything is guided by a revolutionary strategy that is building dual and contending power. And that's really what makes the Uhuru movement so unique. Being a member of USM also means being a part of a culture of reparations. It means it's reparations in practice, and being involved in the process of turning over resources that we have access to as colonizers into the hands of the African liberation movement. It also means going through an honest process of transformation as a human being, and being taking responsibility for what it means to be a colonizer, for what it means to be a white person in today's world, and what our relationship to the rest of the world has meant these last 600 years, and what it can mean moving forward. And it can be a relationship that is based on repair and healing on planet Earth, and you can be a part of that. It also means getting access to some amazing, amazing political studies, trainings, and resources like toolkits, and gaining a community and an entire support system of comrades that work with you, so that even if you are one person in a city by yourself trying to organize, that you're not really by yourself. You have an entire group of comrades that are there to support you and help build with you, even remotely, or come to on a regional organizing tour, which we'll talk more about. And last but certainly not least, being a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement means being a volunteer. It means rolling up your sleeves and getting to work. And the work is part of reparations. It's contributing your time and your energy and your passion and your skills. And it's also gaining new skills on how to be a leader and how to be an activist and how to be out in your community speaking, which is very important. This is an organization of organizers. So I just want to show a couple slides here of what our membership looks like today. So this is a map, of course, of the United States, and where you see the black stars is where we have most of our members. You can see a lot of stuff is concentrated in Florida, concentrated in like the Missouri, Illinois area. There's a lot of members that we have on the West Coast and the northern region. But our goal is we want black stars all over this map, everywhere, and beyond just this map that you see on the screen. Next slide. And we do have some international some members. We have a member in Panama. We have some members in Ecuador, and we also have some members in the Yukon Territory in Canada as well. We want to build those regions. Next slide. So our membership, this is kind of how it's based right now. In the Midwest, we have 34.5% of our members are in the Midwest. 29.5% are on the West Coast. We have 19.3% in the northern region, and then we have 15.5% in the southern region. And right now we have, and this might change since yesterday, since we've gotten 12 new members, but We have members in 123 cities. I'm sorry, 123 cities in 31 states and in 4 countries. Yeah, approved. And so these are some of the cities that have the highest number of members right now. The greater St. Louis area has the most members right now, followed by the greater Tampa, St. Petersburg, Florida area, and then the San Francisco Bay Area, the greater Portland area, the Seattle area, Philadelphia, and then and Boston. Those are like our top cities that we have members in currently. And one main contradiction that we've really had that we're going to be paying more attention to and really building this year is retention. We want to build our retention, renewals, and recognition subcommittee. We're really great at say, for example, winning a bunch of new members on an outreach table, but we want to do more than just say, yay, we won 20 members. We want to say we won 20 members and they had orientation, and now they're on these committees and they're helping build. So that's our goal this year, is to develop an entire program that focuses around developing those new comrades into cadre. So today we are officially launching our spring membership drive. We will no longer be complicit in genocide. That's the name of our spring membership drive. And between now and the end of May, our goal is to win to increase by 500 new members. And we're I think right now, yeah, we're halfway towards our goal. That'll be by the end of May, we'll be halfway towards our goal of 1,000 at the end of the year. And the spring membership drive will be dedicated to Aaron Bushnell and his final words, echoing decades of work by the African People's Solidarity Committee and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We will no longer be complicit in genocide. And as Chair Jesse said earlier, kicking off this presentation, that our goal is to reach, more than just 1,000 members. We want to reach, millions of white people who, like you, want to be a part of overturning colonial oppression and want to genuinely be a part of a future that is, has liberation for African people and Palestinians and Indigenous and Mexican people and all the colonized people around the entire world. And right now we're a little over halfway to our goal of 500. And this means that we are over 25% of the way to winning 1,000 members by the end of the year. And I know that we can definitely do this. We've already got 12 members since yesterday, and we are just on a roll right now. And we will talk a little bit more about how you all here today and online can be a part of kicking off our membership drive and getting us to 1,000 members by the end of the year. And I am now going to turn it over to our Western region comrades. So that would be Comrade Wendy Snyder, Redbeard, and Kara. Uhuru, come on up.
Yeah.
Uhuru. So I first just want to say, salute this marvelous convention and salute to the party's leadership, the leadership of APSC and the leadership of USM. And just, I'm really humbled and proud to be coordinating the regional work of USM. And I have some fantastic comrades on the San Francisco Bay Organizing Committee. We also have, yes, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute. I also have a fantastic comrade on Zoom. I guess we can't see her. We'll see her in a minute, I think. Janet Van Fleet, who's up in Tacoma. So yeah, and we are really, really excited. I got involved in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. You saw my little presentation in 1992, and I think I didn't understand its significance then. And I really do now after so many years, and I'm so excited to be building. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Oh, am I up? Okay. Oh, I have to advance mine. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, so I do want to salute the comrades, Representative Bakri Olatunji of the West Coast, and also Secretary General Mwezi Odom and President Matsemela Odom. And these are profound leaders, and we have so much confidence that we can build a Uhuru solidarity movement under the leadership of the party. So next slide. We have a goal to consolidate our organizing committees in the San Francisco Bay Area into a branch, this year. So we also have the intention to build consolidate organizing committees in what's called the Greater Puget Sound area. So Seattle, Olympia, Tacoma, Eatonville. We have somebody there, and we also want to build organizing committees in San Diego and also in Portland. That's where we have clusters of members, and we also in San Diego, of course, have the leadership of the party there. So we're really excited about that. So right now I would like to turn it over to Janet Van Fleet to talk about the work they've been doing in Tacoma and also in Seattle just these last 7 months. Will you bring up Janet?
Uhuru, Wendy, and comrades. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, we began doing outreach in Tacoma in late May or early June. And right after that was when the efforts to build days of reparations in various cities in the country was put forward, and asked for people to work on that and build DREPs in their cities. And so we here in Tacoma began, the picture shows comrades, or Comrade Peter on the left there with a contact person that we met, Alexis, in during the summer, doing a table at the place that we tabled most, which was Proctor Farmers Market in Tacoma. On the right is Comrade Sandy and me doing a table at a summer festival in another neighborhood. And we just really tried to get out a lot, as much as we could, with the invitation about DREP, and just be out there, keeping the news in front of people. So
Next slide, please.
next slide.
What was it?
And then we had our Tacoma Days of Reparations there. We had a small turnout, but people were very generous, and we had great support from the national committees, everybody who was involved in supplying us with literature and posting materials, leaflets, flyers, advice, everything. And the photograph shows Comrade Alistair Glenn, who also was one during the summer outreach at the Pride Festival. And again, Comrade Sandy, the two of them presented most of our DREP talk, and of course they were presenting the great video presentations from Chairman Amalia Shatella and Chairwoman Penny and Chair Jesse. So then next slide. And then just last month, exactly almost 1 month ago, we were back at the Proctor Farmers Market, trying to stay in front of people that we've met so far. And that shows Alexis, Comrade Mads, has been super active on the West Coast. Joined us from where they currently are now in Eatonville. And Peter, my stalwart companion. And yeah, we had a good table that day. We got 10 people who expressed the desire to participate in our watch party of this event right now. And so it was good to be out there again. Next slide. Sir, are there more slides? Okay, and yeah, this I forgot to mention the other comrades who took part in DREP, in addition to Alistair, Peter, and Sandy, there were Melanie, who we also met during the summer, who became a member, and Daphne, who we met in the spring, did the AV and became a member. Daphne's not in any of our pictures, unfortunately, but and so we have all of us, you know, most of us are in Tacoma, but Sandy's nearby in Elma, Washington, outside of Olympia. Alistair's in Olympia at Evergreen State College, and Mads is in Eatonville. And we can all get together fairly easily. Uhuru.
Uhuru, yeah, just wanted to thank you, Deanna, for all your work building the greater Puget Sound area. And if anybody knows anybody in that area or, you know, has connections there, please get in touch so we can really build.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to bring up Carola to talk about the organizing work we've been doing in the San Francisco Bay Area. Go ahead.
Uhuru. Yeah, so we also had a DREP in Oakland. And as you can see, we did a lot of organizing led by our comrade here, Wendy Snyder and Redbeard. And one of the ways that we got together and did some great outreach was by having a yard sale. And so you can see that that's in front of my house. And we all just pulled together our stuff. And a lot of people donated. I want to call out some people. We had Redbeard, Janine, Nate Fritter, who might be on this Zoom, Stephanie Midler, who I know is having a watch party, Joe Hamburger, Janet Cobran, Pete Yarashuk, Eric Swanson, Maureen Wagner, Steve Davey. We all just contributed our items, and we ended up making over $1,000 just in that yard sale. So it's definitely something you guys can all do. And we did a lot of postering, we did outreach tables, and and now we're doing things like film nights, and we're just gonna keep building. So Uhuru.
Uhuru, next slide, please. Yeah, so I just wanted to report that we did raise $2,500 for the day of reparations, and that was also part of a whole $7,000 budget because we had some expenses. And I think based on that, so that was October 2nd, we built an organizing committee. So I'd like to bring up Comrade Redbeard for the next slide.
I feel quite humbled being here after all the other people who preceded me. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in the Uhuru movement. It's been a very significant for myself and my family to be here. I was recruited and organized into the party in 1978 by Heba Sheshe. And we joined the July 4th movement to free Desi Woods. I encourage everyone to learn that history. There's probably some pamphlets around. Allie was in the July 4th movement to free Desi Woods as well. And the significance of that was something that Comrade Ruby mentioned. Prior to the party arriving in the SF Bay Area, which actually includes San Jose as well as San Francisco and Oakland, political prisoners and colonized people were understood as individuals. And the party's slogan was "Free Desi Woods, smash colonial violence." You cannot just take on a single person. You have to take on the colonial relationship. And that was a profound move that caused polarization in the area.
Right.
And it was good polarization that led us to be here today. My own tenure over all these years has mostly been in Uhuru Foods. In the early days, we started with bake sales, street fairs. We did concessions at theaters. And the party, and I'm grateful to the party, to the chairman, to APSC, we were struggled with to become more serious about the fundraising, not just bake some cookies, you sell them, okay, here's 20 bucks, but to come up with a budget, come up with a commitment. And then over the years, we understood all of that was reparations. Everything that we contributed, all the money we raised was reparations. And I want to also shout out to Maureen Wagner about Uhuru Foods. So I still work in the kitchen on Saturday morning. I make dough and make some mixes and do some cleanup. And along with Bakari and Sayali, I deliver some pies on Tuesdays. And then the three of us went to the Black is Back coalition recently in December. And the significance of that, I think, was that because there was a giant march there with tens of thousands of people, but they were all downtown. We marched through a neighborhood where people lived, where people were eating and shopping. And we were under the leadership of African internationalism and the party. But this other giant march, it wasn't clear what it was under the leadership of or where it was marching to what end was it marching? So I think that was the significance, and the three of us went there. And I really want to also acknowledge Wendy's leadership in the local organizing committee.
Right on.
Next slide, please. Do I have to do it?
Yeah, that's the Uhuru Foods.
Oh, it's up now. Okay. So as Redbeard mentioned, another amazing institution that was in Oakland and is now being relocated here to St. Louis is Uhuru Foods and Pies. And I have been working in Uhuru Foods and Pies, I think, since I've started in 2012. And it's just another way to pay reparations through your time, through your labor. And one thing that we do every holiday season, and I think many of you know what I'm talking about, is the holiday pie campaign. November and December are big months, and we sell thousands of pies. We make, we bake, and we sell those pies. And there's just so many ways to get involved in that, not just with baking, but you can be a pie seller at pop-up pie tables. You can also do lots of remote work, so you don't even have to be in the area. You could be recruiting or doing social media. There's just so many ways. And I want to shout out Leah and Sarah because they took on the call to come to Oakland this year and were instrumental in the pie campaign. And just Leah, I know, was baking up a storm and selling up a storm, and so was Sarah. So we just really appreciate that. And Maureen has led that work for Ed Bakari and Sayali, and am I missing anyone? Just for years, and just has made it the amazing institution that it is. And I'm just so excited to see what happens in St. Louis. That little bakery and cafe is gonna just be so cute. So yeah, just very happy about that. And Red Beard too, of course, has been baking all this time, so.
For a long time.
For a long time, he's great. Uhuru.
Uhuru, next slide, please. I know we have to move a little faster here, but we're excited. Can you tell about the work we're doing? So we did get to attend one of the events, the event that Chairwoman Penny Hess spoke at an event on the life of Leonard Peltier. That was February 6th. And then she came into town. Next slide, please. And she actually, the next one after that. Yeah, she came into town and she organized an event. So I want to shout out, Chairwoman Penny Hess for hooking up this event, as well as Donna Wallach, who's in the picture there, as well as Joan Simon, who endorsed from the San Jose Peace and Justice Center, and the comrades here, Alex, Rep Bakary, there's Sitlamina, who is also known as Ketsa to us, of the Barrio Defense Committee, and other comrades, and that was a really powerful event. So, and then a couple days later, next slide,
A couple of days later, we had an event at a community center in downtown Oakland, the Tamarack Center, for the Hands Off Uhuru, Hands Off Africa. The chair of the campaign, Odom, came, Chairwoman Penny Hess came. We had about 25 people there. We raised $1,200. We got out a lot of literature and established, beginning to establish a presence in Oakland as Uhuru Foods moves to a political presence as Uhuru Foods moves here to St. Louis. And then some longtime comrades came, Joel Hamburger, Poteet, Ann Lipton, Ron Spade, people who were in the Solidarity movement for years. And I just want to shout out to all the people out there who have worked in Uhuru for years and decades to come back. Come back. They've made great contributions. Come on back.
Uhuru. All right, and one more slide, I believe. Yeah, so our next step, we're gonna hold a regional meeting once a month, the third Thursday of the month. So our first meeting will be in a couple of weeks. Please, if you know anyone, and I'll be reaching out, don't worry, to just let you know we're having this regional meeting. We want to pull people together and develop plans of actions for all the cities that we can in the Western region. So, Uhuru. Oh, and I want to shout out Don Lawson of the ad hoc committee, as well as Opium Sabah, who were participants in that Fight for Free Speech event. Thank you.
Uhuru. All right, give it up for the Western region. Woo! Uhuru. All right, so I now want to invite up our Southern Regional Coordinator, Jamie Simpson, to talk a bit about what the Southern region's up to. Uhuru.
All right. Uhuru. Wow, that's going to be a tough act to follow, huh? That was an incredible Western report. Really want to salute Comrade Wendy and the comrades from the Western region. So my name is Jamie Simpson, and I am the Southern Regional Coordinator of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And just to say, the Southern region is a really important place to be organizing right now. It is the birthplace of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, and I believe Deputy Chair Onizane Yeshitela. It is the city of African resistance, and it is right across the bay from Tampa, where September 3rd will happen, when we will put the colonial state on trial. So we have to build in the Southern region. So as I said, I'm the coordinator of the Southern region, and we have Johan Bedingfield pictured here and tuning in online as the membership coordinator. And then we have Diane Tornay, who is in Gainesville and is the media coordinator of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Next slide, please.
And I also just want to salute the local party organization of the African People's Socialist Party in our regional hub, St. Petersburg, Florida. We have Director of Media and Communications, Director Akile Anayi. We have Comrade Konji Mlimwengu, and we have National Director of Organization, Chimurenga Selambao. Next slide, please. Yeah, really salute those comrades in the African People's Socialist Party in St. Petersburg. Their leadership is invaluable. So these are the comrades of the USM Southern region who are active right now in our committee. There's myself there, Jamie. We have Comrade Eliza, of course, Johan again. Comrade Libre out of Miami. He's actually with the Troika Collective, been really supportive comrades since the FBI attacks. We have Comrade Sarah, who's active in Uhuru Foods. We have Comrade Taylor. There's Diane again. Of course, Peg, and I should have started with this. Comrade Janice Kant of the African People's Solidarity Committee is in St. Petersburg. Uhuru, the Comrade Janice, here in the house with us. And yeah, she is the Uhuru Foods and Pies coordinator and vice chair of the grants team, among other hats that Janice wears. And give a round of applause also to Comrade Peg Keefe joining us today from St. Petersburg. Uhuru Peg. Also very active in Uhuru Foods and Pies and Uhuru Solidarity. And other key active members include Comrade Zoe, who's in North Carolina and is an important part of the Hands Off Uhuru legal support team. Uhuru to you, Zoe. We have Rain, Kafira, Sarah, and I'm sorry, I'm reiterating here, Sarah and Peg. Yes, did I skip over Icarus? I don't think I skipped Icarus. Am I skipping a whole line here? Okay. Rain, Kafira, Sarah. I'm going by the script. I'm sorry. I should go in order of the pictures. Yes, let's after Peg and Janice, we had Icarus, and I already mentioned Zoe. We have and just to say, I'm going to say a little. You'll hear more from Icarus later. He's they're a USF Tampa student who's doing really incredible work. Just joined yesterday, is a member of Students for Democratic Society and working to build an event at USF Tampa. We have Comrade Marvin, who's been incredible, just got involved in the work recently. And we have Comrade Kafira, who is in Miami and just rejoined the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And I already mentioned Comrade Rain, who's a longtime member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And let's see, there's some other folks. There's Eliza. I mentioned Eliza. There's Comrade Sophie, who's also of Tampa Bay SDS and has been really active in the local committee. And then not pictured here are Comrade Colin, who got involved around DREP last year. We have Comrade Megan. We have Comrade Zoe and Sky, Ellie, and Roland. And I'll say more about some of those folks in a little bit. Next slide, please. This is the Days of Reparations to African People, St. Petersburg, 2023, which really was fantastic. We had this event at Aquaba Hall. It featured, of course, Chairman Amalia Shatella, Director Akile Anayi, USM Chair Jesse Nevel, and a virtual presentation from APSC Chair Penny Hess. We also had a solidarity statement. Pictured here is Lauren Pinero of the Tampa 5. The event was well attended and exceeded the fundraising goals, which I believe were $2,500 on top of expenses. And of course, pictured here is myself, also Jamie Simpson as the MC. Next slide, please. More pictures from Days of Reparations. USM Chair Jesse Nevel and Chairman Amalia Shatella delivered profound presentations, deepening our understanding of the significance of this period. Next slide, please. And here is Director Akile Anayi bringing down the house with a fiery presentation to wrap up the evening. Next slide, please. So the St. Pete Days of Reparations was really a resounding success. And I want to salute Comrade Roland, who took these beautiful photographs. And the audience remained for quite a while afterwards to talk to take pictures, get autographs from the chairman. It was a wonderful evening. Next slide, please. So I wanted to say a little bit about outreach in the southern region in St. Petersburg. Tabling is an important component of outreach for USM in St. Petersburg. This is a great way to meet people at local markets like the Saturday morning market, at festivals, or outside of busy parks. And we continue to do this in the face of the city of St. Petersburg's tabling ban ordinance, which was passed in June of 2023 and clearly is meant to target the Uhuru movement. Next slide, please. And here is myself and comrade Hoehne at USF St. Petersburg. USM St. Pete has had a consistent tabling presence at USF St. Petersburg in particular, and we have members and supporters at USF Tampa and at Eckerd College. And we have organized several students to become active in USM, attend events and actions, and support the local institutions of the party. Next slide, please. So this is our comrades doing some postering, which is another important part of our outreach. We're pictured here. This is Hoehne and myself. You can tell it's a little bit dated, these pictures. The two on the left anyway. Postering and flyering in downtown St. Petersburg is another key component of outreach. We've also met several contacts this way who become active through this type of outreach. We always bring a clipboard and a sign-up sheet in case we meet anyone who is interested. For instance, Comrade Ellie, I think I mentioned earlier, I just met doing postering in downtown for this convention. And pictured here is also, of course, Diane Tournay doing outreach for this year's convention in Gainesville. Next slide, please. So these are our regional hub institutions, of course, the Uhuru House and Aquaba Hall, the Uhuru Jiko Community Commercial Kitchen, Black Power 96 Radio. You see there, of course, DJ Eddie Maltzby, Uhuru to DJ Eddie, and Burning Spear Media. Next slide, please. So this is some comrades supporting the regional institutions. In particular, what's pictured here, of course, is Uhuru Foods and Pies, the booth that Janice Cant coordinates at the Saturday morning market. You see Janice and Peg there, of course, and you can't see his face, but this is USF student and Uhuru Solidarity Movement volunteer Colin at an Uhuru Pies booth. And Comrade Sarah is also a regular volunteer with Uhuru Pies. So that is fantastic, and not pictured here, but just another example of supporting the regional institutions. Hoehne and myself, and also Comrade Icarus, have been active in supporting Black Power 96's fight back against the canceling of grants by the Pinellas County Commission, speaking at Pinellas County Commission meetings and press conferences of Black Power 96. Next slide, please. So here are some local events and actions that we've been involved with as USM. This is Hoehne and myself. On the left, this is us just having finished a table. And the same day, a little bit later, you see here Comrade Marvin and Hoehne and myself at a Four Corners protest to support Palestinian liberation. And this was on the USM Volunteer Day of Action this past February. Next slide, please. So another thing, and this should have been pictured earlier, I realized, but this was in the lead up to the Days of Reparations. This was a webinar that we did in September of last year. It was called Stop the War on Black History, Fight for Free Speech and Reparations. It was a webinar that we held as part of the process of building for DREP 2023. Next slide, please. Also, we had a USM St. Pete Palestine rally called From South St. Pete to Palestine, Colonialism Must Go. And this was a teach-in and rally that the USM St. Petersburg committee organized. It featured Director Akile Anayi as the keynote speaker. And I want to recognize, forgetting the name of the organization of the business, which I'm self-critical for, but this banner was actually donated by a Palestinian business in Tampa. Shadi is the name of the business owner. So I really want to salute Shadi for donating that banner. Next slide, please. And here are some more pictures from our fantastic teach-in. That's Robert Rosa of the American Indian Movement, and of course, Icarus with Students for Democratic Society. Next slide, please. Some more pictures of our rally and teach-in on Palestine. New volunteer Marvin is pictured here. On security, he did an excellent job under the leadership of NDO Chimarenga. And SDS comrades Sophie and Icarus helped staff the event, and there was one network news station that covered the rally. Next slide, please. So we did win one new member at the rally, and we have several new contacts from the rally. Some of the people that we met at the teach-in registered for the convention and are tuning in right now. And we have a follow-up meeting set for March 20th and have a separate meeting set with some of the Eckerd students, including Ellie and Zoe, who attended the teach-in, and they're interested in building a hands-off Uhuru event on their campus at Eckerd College. Next slide, please. So what is up next for the Southern region is an Uhuru 3 speaking tour that we plan for April of this year. And Comrade Icarus is doing a lot, and Sophie and Rain to build one at Tampa USF, which we think is going to be really significant. And then we have the comrades working to build one at St. Pete Eckerd College, one at Gainesville, Miami, Asheville, and North Carolina. And I failed to read my script here, but I want to acknowledge the people working on these different events for this speaking tour that we plan to feature at least one of the Uhuru 3, possibly all, and a representative of the Freelander-Peltier Ad Hoc Committee. And this will address the escalation of attacks on free speech for colonized people. So shout out to the USM members and volunteers working to make this happen, including Rain, Icarus, Sophie, Megan, Marvin, and Johan in St. Petersburg, Diane in Gainesville, Kafira and Comrade Libre in Miami, and Zoe in North Carolina. Next slide, please. So we call on anyone who is in the Southern region to get involved. Join this region of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Fill out that you want to join the committee, and we will be in touch.
And Lisa, can you unshare for 1 second and then you share? Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, Uhuru. Thank you.
All right, Uhuru, thank you so much, Jamie. Salute to the Southern region. All right. So next slide. So I am now going to talk a little bit about the Midwestern region, which you are all in right now. So welcome. I first just really want to shout out the African People's Solidarity Committee presence here in the Midwest, and there is a lot of us here. So so I'm just going to name everybody. I just really want to salute the following comrades: Chairwoman Penny Hess, ORAD Director Kitty Riley, Uhuru Foods and Pies Director Maureen Wagner, Secretary General Hoehne, Ruby Gittleson, Chair Jesse Nevel, Vice Chair Amanda Carlozzi, Halley Murray, Brendan McCoy, myself, Lisa Watson, and Raya Fogarty. That is the APSC Midwestern region. Really salute the leadership. And our Midwestern region, we have a lot of great comrades here that that are involved in a lot of outreach on the ground, and those comrades are Brendan, James Anala, Lauren Fila, Jesse Nevel, Amanda Carlozzi, Angelica Moeller-Rowry, Tyler Wilson, Hallie Murray, Evan Carr, Bob Suberry, and those are our comrades here in St. Louis. Chris Matthew, yes, thank you. Casey Mackey, I'm so sorry. Self-critical for that. And our next slide, we have comrades also in Minneapolis, Leah Fifield and Sarah Ritterspa with Lisa Watson. And also shout out to Virginia Wilson, who is in Louisville, Kentucky, which is technically the Southern region, but the Midwestern region has kind of been adopting that. And we've been doing a lot of work in Louisville as well. So shout out to all those comrades. Uhuru. And here's just some of the things that we have done in the Midwestern region. We had a March for Reparations and a Day of Reparations to African people, which was really successful. Next slide. And we do a lot of tabling. Like we did some tables at Earth Day every year and Pride. We have two different Pride festivals, one in June, and then we have like one in September, which are really, really significant tables for us, some significant outreach tables. And next slide. And this is just a really very, very brief clip of some outreach that that happens in Tower Grove Farmers Market. So if we could just play this very quickly.
Being a member is like in this instance is expressing reparations. Your membership, contribution funds the work.
All right, very, very brief. Woo. So yeah, I just want to shout out Chair Jesse Nevel and Brendan McCoy, who you could see were very hard at work, just trying to chat with people, and a lot of times the farmers market that we do there is so busy, and there are just so many white people that just show so much support and want to get involved. So it's an amazing experience, and if you're in St. Louis, you got to come and visit us at the table there. Okay, so next slide. So just like we saw in the Western region, we do also go to Washington, D.C. And we were at the Black is Back march that Redbeard was talking about. And then we also recently, a few comrades went to, on January 13th, the march on Washington for Gaza, which was a really great experience. I met a lot of comrades there, some of whom are attending this convention today. And we had in our next slide, Poets Against Genocide event in February. And yeah, this is just, we want to have some more events like this at the center to just, build community and really use our Solidarity Center as a volunteer hub. In our next slide. And recently we co-sponsored with the Veterans for Peace, we co-sponsored a vigil for Aaron Bush, which was, I'm sorry, what was that?
Bushnell.
Oh, Bushnell, Aaron Bushnell, sorry, thank you. Aaron Bushnell, and yeah, we had a bunch of comrades come out, and it was just a really, really powerful experience. So I just really want to salute Veterans for Peace for co-sponsoring that with us. It's really, really great. All right, and in our next slide, we also had comrades busy in Minneapolis and Minnesota. Comrades Lisa and Becky also had an outreach table at the Black Lives Matter Minnesota Reparations Conference in February. So salute to the work that you all are doing in Minnesota. Okay, and so in our next slide, these are just some of our Midwestern region goals. So we really want to build an April and May recruitment tour, and this is something that we want to do in all regions. But in the Midwest, we want to make sure we go to Minneapolis. We want to have an event here in St. Louis, in Chicago, and in Louisville, Kentucky. And in our next slide, another one of our goals here is that we really, really want to build the Uhuru Solidarity Center here in St. Louis as the international headquarters for APSC and USM. And in addition to that, we also really want to build the Uhuru Solidarity movement here in St. Louis. We really want to make the USM St. Louis, a formal branch with a lot of working members and, doing a lot of different outreach activities. So for, all the comrades sitting in the audience that are here in the Midwest, keep that in mind. Okay, and so some more events that we want to like have events at the center all the time, which we do have events there, but we want to have a regular Poets Against Genocide event and maybe bring some like music into it. We want to continue to do some film showings. We want to have Uhuru Planet volunteer nights, which Comrade Halley has been coordinating and have been great. We want to have in-person political studies and potlucks and just general get-togethers like that at the Uhuru Solidarity Center. And in our next slide, we also really want to develop a Black Power Blueprint work brigade. And part of the work that we do here in St. Louis is the Black Power Blueprint, which is some of what you saw today on that tour this morning. And we want to call on not just comrades here in St. Louis, but from out of St. Louis to come here and to see all of the liberated territory of the party and work in building these institutions. And then you can go back to your communities and show everybody in your community the things that the party is doing here, and your experience in working with the Black Power Blueprint here in St. Louis. And we really want to just have people coming here and just working hard at building the Black Power Blueprint. All right, next slide. And this summer, we did this last year and the year before, but we have a Reparations summer project, which is when a bunch of comrades come from out of town, and also people here in St. Louis participate. And it's like a 2-week long cadre intensive that every day is just filled with different outreach activities and studies, and you have dinner together. I mean, it's really an amazing experience that I really encourage you to be a part of. And this year we'll be doing it July 8th through 20th. So even if you can get off of work for a few days, or for the whole 2 weeks, come to St. Louis, be a part of this Reparations Summer Project, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Okay, and moving on from the Midwestern region, I also really want to salute the African People's Socialist Party's presence in the Northern region. Lucade Maku, who is here in the audience with us, Uhuru, comrade. Uhuru. Yeah, it's gonna be a round of applause. Thanks for traveling here to St. Louis. Uhuru. And in our next slide, I do just want to say that that we had some presence in Philly. I was there, but then I moved here, and then we had Secretary General Halley and Ruby also in Philly, who just moved here. But despite us now being here in St. Louis, we are very committed to rebuilding the USM in the Northern region, which we will make sure to happen this year. So, Uhuru. And so all of this stuff that we're showing you is not, of course we want to share all the cool things that we're doing, but also, we want the gears to start turning in your mind about the ways that you can get involved in wherever you're located, in some, doing some outreach tables and stuff like that. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about how you can participate in the spring membership drive in your city and in your region. And let's see. Okay, so like I said, we all want to do some regional organizing recruitment tours. And so we want to do this in the spring. So between like now and April and May. And we want to have USM committee leaders and local organizers travel to different cities in your region and hold big outreach events. Last year, Comrade Halley and I went to Louisville, and we participated in an outreach table at Pride with Comrade Virginia there. And later in the year, Lauren and Comrade James and I went back to Louisville to host the Days of Reparations event. And there we won 2 new members who we had actually met previously at that Pride event only a few months before. So we also want to, we want to have a Southern regional tour with outreach events in St. Pete and Gainesville. We also want to go to, Oakland, Tacoma, Seattle, San Diego, and like I said before, St. Louis, Chicago, Minneapolis, Louisville, and that's just the beginning. But this will really help activate our members in those areas with the goal to win members and to build branches. And oh, now I'm going to turn it back over to Wendy to talk. Oh no, you already did that. You already did that. Sorry, I forgot to move this slide around. Okay, so more about the spring membership drive. Part of what we do is outreach tables. So we want to have an outreach table campaign, and here are just some photos of comrades doing outreach at different tables in throughout the U.S. And next slide. Just some more photos of comrades doing outreach tables. Some of these you might have seen already. And then in our next slide, more outreach. So June is Pride Month, and that's like one of our biggest events that we have every year that we do outreach at. And last year we won 19 new members in one weekend, which was amazing. So we call on all regions to start thinking about what when your Pride event is, and look into registering to have a table at your Pride event. And we'll make sure to send you the materials that you need to have an outreach table at Pride, even if it's just like a table with like 5 shirts and some literature. That's really all you need to like talk to people about joining joining Solidarity under the leadership of the party. And yeah, and continue on to the next slide. And also part of the membership drive is, we want to have membership weekends. So we want to take like entire weekends where, on Friday we have a meet and greet in your city. And then on Saturday, everybody does flyering in the morning, and then we all do a table together. And then on Sunday, we all like phone bank and call all of those contacts that we met the day before. We want this to be like these entire recruitment weekends that we all do together, like nationally. And another thing that we want to do is start really implementing our working committees. And I know yesterday Chair Jesse talked a little bit about this, Jews Against Colonialism. You know, if you're a Jew out there and you're against colonialism, join Jews Against Colonialism. And we also have a campaign, for example, called No Pride in Genocide. So you know, you could be a part of that. You know, that we do that kind of work all year round. And also, like Comrade Lauren talked about, or will be talking about, you know, the organizing students. So if you're on campus, you know, we'll talk to you a little bit more about that as well. And you know, if you haven't heard your city called at all, and you are there and you want to hold a recruitment tour in your city, please let us know. We can add your city to the list, and you know, we will be more than happy to send some comrades your way and do an outreach table with you and help build the area in, you know, in your neighborhood. You know, so if any of this is resonating with you, and I hope it is, you know, you want to join the membership office and build a spring recruitment tour in your city. And the goal of a branch, see, I know we're talking about building branches, and I just want to say what a branch is. It's a local organizing structure that leads and carries out the work of the organization on a local level. And these are some of the positions that is involved in building a branch. And in order to have an official branch, you need at least 4 of these. You need a chair, a secretary, a treasurer, and a membership coordinator. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but we will be having like a branch building training. So everybody will have to come to that to learn a little bit more. But you know, the local area of the branch, it can be a city. And if it's like a huge city like New York or something, you know, you can have more than 1 branch in a city. But let's get started with just building branches. And yeah, next slide. Okay, and so for white people, uniting, you know, a branch is more than just a bunch of members of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement that happen to live in the same area. It's an organized unit that that has an elected leadership body and that meets weekly and carries out the work that is called on by the party. And organization is the only weapon oppressed people have, and they're going up against the most well-armed, well-funded, nuclear-backed monster. So for white people, uniting with this is an objection to white individualism, and it is an objection to the assumption that we don't need accountability, that we can just kind of like get to things when it works for us. And you know, building branches is about it's about being accountable to the leadership of the African working class. And we did create a branch building toolkit that we can share with you. You know, if anybody's interested, just email us at info@uhurusolidarity.org and we can share that with you. All right, and then we will have some trainings coming up on how to build a recruitment tour, how to recruit members on an outreach table, and how to lead a committee and make a POA. So, you know, join the membership committee and you can attend these trainings in the next few weeks. We'll have some dates for you. And before I close out the section, I do just want to salute the International Recruitment and Membership Office, Amanda, Jesse, Comrade Sarah, Lauren, Johan, Virginia, Wendy, Janet, Comrade Carrie Porter, Jamie, and Josette. And there are at least 2 spots where your face belongs. So join the membership office. You know, we have monthly membership meetings, and the next one will be Tuesday, March 19th at 6:30 p.m. Central. And this one will be about launching the March Against Genocide National Organizing Campaign. And you could register for that at tinyurl.com/USM Mass Meeting. All right, and now I will turn it to Lauren to talk a bit about the Student Coordinating Committee, USM Student Commission. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Yes, I'm so excited to announce we're kicking off a new commission, which is the Student Commission. And so even though this is a new commission, USM has had historic presence at universities, particularly at USF, but also at Temple University in Philadelphia, at WashU in St. Louis, at universities in the Bay Area and San Diego. And this is following the leadership and the tradition of the party that's been organizing students to resist colonialism, to say no to the path of being good colonizers and going through school to learn how to be a successful colonizer, living at the expense of other people, and instead organizing to join the rest of humanity and to fight to overturn colonialism. So we have a lot of ways that we're working to do this, and this will be forming student organizations on campus, building teach-ins and events, and building a tour for campuses across the country, campus outreach tables, civic engagement fairs, building a network of professors, students who support reparations, building the anti-colonial free speech movement on campuses. And it's so important that students fight for anti-colonial free speech and to organize to support the free speech trial of the Uhuru 3 in September. Am I doing the next slide?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a video of Icarus Jaspard of USF Tampa, and they are going to talk to you about some of the relentless work that they are currently doing on campus.
Hi there. My name is Icarus Mark Jaspard, and I'm a member of Tampa Bay Students for a Democratic Society at the University of South Florida. I have been doing work with Southern Regional Director Jamie Simpson to accomplish two goals. One is to provide a space for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement to give a teach-in on USF campus, as well as making a Uhuru Solidarity Movement student group at the USF campus as well. To accomplish these goals, we have been doing a few things, including reaching out to professors to make sure that we have sponsors for both the event and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement student group when that gets put into action. I have also been seeking out student members for said Uhuru Solidarity Movement group on campus, as I need at least 5 students in total, 4 other than myself, to make said student group official. Currently, there are bureaucratic loopholes that we have to go through, but everything seems to be right on track for this. The event itself for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, including talks from members of the Uhuru 3, is going well as well. We have a plan to, if we need to, simply stand in the middle of campus where everyone can see us and have the teach-in there rather than taking and reserving a room ourselves. As I stated earlier, there are bureaucratic loopholes that they want us to jump through, and unfortunately, they're holding us back. If that continues to persist, we will simply just take space on the campus as it is public and allowed for us to do so. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Icarus, and we are hoping to have a branch of USM at USF Tampa soon. And I just want to go back real quickly because I forgot to mention that this photo is a group of students that work with the Black Power Blueprint at WashU, Washington University in St. Louis. Oh, am I on the wrong one?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Okay.
Hi there. My name is Icarus Mark Jaspard.
Icarus.
Do I have control of it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's myself and Brendan, Jamie and Johan. And so, yeah, if you are like Icarus though, and if you're a student, if you're a professor, if you work on a campus, if you work in St. Louis or anywhere, then join the USM Student Commission and help build this powerful force of USM to fight colonialism under the leadership of the APSP in material solidarity with the African working class. And if you're interested but feel like you need resources, then reach out because we will help you to bring speakers to campus, we'll help you to organize on campus. This will be a vital part of winning thousands of members to USM to win reparations to fight for Black Power.
Uhuru. Thank you, Comrade Lauren. And now I'm going to turn it over to Comrade Virginia Wilson in Louisville, Kentucky, who is the coordinator of our Reparations War of Ideas Committee. And I just wanted to quickly mention that in your registration packets, and we'll put a link in the chat for people watching online, there is a sheet that has the 5 national committees of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I don't have one actually, that you can join. And we want you to look through that as you're listening to this presentation and think about which of them or which of multiple of them you would be interested in joining. You're free to join all of them if you want. And also which regional committee you will be joining to get active in your community on the ground. And I know we have comrades here from Columbus, Ohio, from Fresno, California, from other places that we didn't mention in our map of places where we are currently working to build the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So we want to bring the Uhuru Solidarity Movement to Columbus, Ohio, and to all the other places represented in this room and online. And when you fill out this form, that's step one to start the process of making that happen. So now I'm going to turn it over to our very dynamic coordinator of social media and the Reparations War of Ideas Committee, Comrade Virginia. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you, Chair Jesse. Uhuru, everyone. Well, this presentation is called Winning the Reparations War of Ideas. And winning the war of ideas is an idea I learned about from our leadership, the party. It's getting out there and taking up all of the political space and winning the masses of people to African internationalism. So that's what we want to do with, in particular, our social media. And we want to take up all of the political space across our social media platforms, on the airwaves, and in our communities to build the mass movement for reparations under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party led by Chairman Omali Yeshitela. We want to be recruiting millions of white people in solidarity with reparations, Black power, and African liberation. Uhuru, next slide. And this is something that a dear comrade said to me one time, the party wins the people. And so we want to first and foremost put forward our leadership and what we've learned from our leadership, and the fact that we are white people organized under the African Revolution and the revolutionary leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. So therefore, we'll be promoting our leadership, the African People's Socialist Party and Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who made reparations the household word that it is today. We want to promote African internationalism, the political theory of the revolutionary African working class. We want to be showing more of the history of white solidarity with Black power and how the party formed the African People's Solidarity Committee led by Chairwoman Penny Hess in 1976. And, you know, Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we want to get out there. It's the mass organization of the African People's Solidarity Committee under the leadership of the party. So these are just important ideas we want to maintain across our social media content. Next slide. And we want to build USM's presence across social media platforms. And just in case you didn't know, these are some of the platforms we're on, maybe even more than this, but the basic ones: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And we have a goal of launching a massive promotions campaign to get the word out about the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And we want to evaluate what this requires, because we know we need to know what we must do to sort of go beyond our current numbers and how to increase our presence on social media and the bourgeois media too, and including YouTube channels and more. Next slide. Thank you. And this is just a slide showing you our following across social media platforms, pretty much. And these are our current platforms where we have a presence. Currently, we seem to have the most followers on Facebook, with Instagram a close second. We want to win more followers on each platform. Actually, I think it's quite realistic that we could definitely double this by the time the trial is here in September. I think we could at least double our numbers on each platform. And so follow USM on social media. I want you to like, comment, share, engage with our content. Almost want to ask you right now to just take your phone out. Are you following us on Instagram? Do that now. You can find us across social media at /Uhuru Solidarity on all of these platforms. Start liking us, start following us, and sharing our content. Thank you so much. And next slide. And we understand from our leadership that social media is a tool of imperialism. But just like other things that are tools of imperialism, like, for example, the law, Chairman Omali Yeshitela teaches us we can still use that tool of imperialism to expose imperialism, right? And so we want to use it to reach out to the people, take up all the political space, and enhance our on-the-ground work. And, you know, photos and videos of our on-the-ground work, like outreach, teach-ins, demonstrations, and more, has consistently been some of our most popular and successful social media content. And we say hashtag USM in action. So these are some great photos of outreach leading up to right now today, our convention. You see comrades from all over, from St. Louis, and then there's Diane in Gainesville, and some comrades were getting very busy with outreach in the Bay Area and in Oakland, and they're in Florida and St. Pete area with Johan and Jamie. So yeah, we want to really be using this tool, as I say, to showcase what it is that we do, and to showcase our outreach too, and let it help our on the ground work be more effective. Next slide. And these are just some social media highlights. There's so much I wanted to put here. It's like not a big enough slide to even have, but I just wanted to show you some highlights that feature, first of all, some of our designs from our volunteers that we're so thrilled to have. Shout out to, of course, Caitlin, who does video editing for us, and Ali and Adriana, who themselves made some of these designs. Also want to shout out to USM leadership, Jesse, who is just very talented with this and helps guide us as well. And then also just to point out, you know, some of these designs are really inspired by the party. When we see what the party is doing, we're like, wow. And then we say, oh, back to the drawing board, got to make it better, bolder, more revolutionary. So that's what this slide is meant to show. Anyway, so we want to promote featured speakers for upcoming events. Remember anti-colonial history, offering political education, making bold political statements, and summing up current events. Our social media presence informs, it gets people involved in our campaigns, and moving forward, we really want to be sure to also be using the Burning Spear archives and more resources to showcase Uhuru movement history and much more as well. Next slide. These are just some highlights from USM Reels on social media. A few of the more popular ones, and you know, curating content from the enormous array of the videos of our leadership is one of the things we do in our social media team. We curate that content, and then we have a talented video editor helping us with that as well. What we want to do is curate the content from the videos of our leadership to push forward energetic and attention-getting political education to entice more followers and win white people to join the movement. So it's not just about creating that soundbite. You think, oh, that's going to go viral. People will love that. Yes, we want to go viral, but we want to make sure that that content is there so we can really win members to this movement. And especially for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So we want to build our social media committee, build the Reparations War of Ideas Committee, and you can be a part of that. Next slide. We want to salute the members and volunteers of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement social media team. And these people are wonderful. We have Alison Hyde, and who's a graphic designer, Caitlin Skibiak, who is our video editor, Adriana Moore, another talented graphic designer. And then also we have Comrade Johan Bedingfield, who was our formerly our InfoEd chair, and now Southern Regional Membership Coordinator, Johan. So salute to you, and salute to our volunteers, our NTU volunteers. They have been amazing and breathe new life into USM social media. Uhuru. Next slide. Oh, wait, before I go on this one, I wanted to say also big shout out to some other volunteers we had previously in the past year. Big shout out to Jeremiah Pineda and Abigail Krause and Emilia Navarro. Thank you. Next slide. Yeah, and for this, I didn't know if I wanted to invite Jamie, if he's there, to come up and speak just for a second on a minute on the Reparations in Action podcast. But Jamie, if you had anything to say, I just want to really salute Black Power 96 Station Manager Eddie Maltzby Jr. and APSC Chairwoman Penny Hess and our own USM Chair Jesse Nevel for being hosts on that show also, and Brendan McCoy for leading this work right now, and Jamie Simpson as well, and all the behind the scenes volunteers, Lisa Watson, Aaron Loss, and Alex Fletcher. So yeah, Jamie, go ahead.
All right, Uhuru, Virginia, thank you. So yeah, I have to begin just by saluting Comrade Brendan McCoy, who is the current coordinator of Reparations in Action. Well, I will continue to be a part of Reparations in Action to whatever extent I'm able with my other responsibilities as Southern Regional Coordinator. I think it's a really important front in the war of ideas, and we got to just continue to build it, and we will do that under Comrade Brendan's leadership, and of course under the leadership of Chairwoman Penny Hess. So it's a really important time to build Reparations in Action and White Lies Shattered. So, and yes, we got to build a committee too. That's another one. I know that's one thing we need to do. We need to rebuild the committee, the volunteer committee of Reparations in Action. I know there was somebody I just met at in building this Palestine rally who lives in Tampa or St. Pete, I forget which, who has podcast experience. If you're in the audience today or listening, you have any experience or interest in producing podcasts, please be in touch with us. Yeah, this is a really exciting project to work on, Reparations in Action. And it's part of Black Power 96, which is such an important part of the African Revolution under the leadership of Director Akile Anayi. So get involved. Thank you. Uhuru.
Uhuru. And now, thank you, Jamie. I want to bring up our Comrade Diane, who is, we can go to the next slide. Comrade Diane is over our media. Thank you. And I will let Comrade Diane take it from here.
Uhuru, thank you, Virginia. Uhuru comrades. Yes, I am the coordinator of the Uhuru Solidarity, media team. So what the media team is doing is that we have a goal to reach millions of people through the media, which obviously the colonial corporate media has a reach of, the many, many millions of people in the United States and around the world. And we do work, I want to say, under the leadership and under the guidance of the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. And so what we do is we reach out to traditional media, such as newspapers, television, and radio, as well as the newer types of medias like online news platforms, YouTube channels, podcasts, and online event calendars. So we work systematically to reach out to these different types of media. We write materials like press releases or interview requests or whatever type of the appropriate type of communication to send to that particular media, or we have, find the right person to write that material and just coordinate all of that process. And there are some examples in this slide of just different things that have been published or aired. There's the radio show where Jesse Nevel was interviewed on Jaws of Justice on KKFI in Kansas City. Just some different things. The chairman was interviewed live on Democracy Now! A couple of times actually, but this is from just right after the raids of the notorious FBI violent pre-dawn raids on July 29th, 2022. And this was August 10th, 2022, an amazing interview by the chairman on Democracy Now! There was a recent interview of the chairman by Glenn Greenwald on Systems Update, and that is absolutely a must watch. There's a press conference that was aired in Tampa Bay, WTSP Tampa Bay, and also there's an example of a calendar announcement on an event site and also on a self-posting site where Jesse Nevel's recent article, "I Will No Longer Be Complicit in Genocide," was published, and also that is sent out, you know, it's as an op-ed piece. So we would like to see that published in, for example, the New York Times. But basically the corporate colonial media has, or the colonial corporate media, I probably should say, has, you know, a wall up against the African liberation movement, and we need to tear down that wall, and that is what we're working to do. So we want to break down those barriers and get into the colonial corporate media. And also we want to continue to expand on the success that we've had in obtaining coverage in more independent types of media, such as YouTube channels, podcasts, and community radio. Next slide, please. This is the USM media team. I'm the coordinator and a publicist. We work closely with Sandra Forrest, who is a publicist for the Hands Off Uhuru campaign, has a wealth of experience and knowledge to share with us. And Virginia Wilson, Lauren Fila, and Becky Camo are wonderful publicists also. So we're all working on getting the Hands Off Uhuru campaign and just information about the Uhuru movement and the African People's Socialist Party, all the wonderful programs of the Black Power Blueprint, all the campaigns of economic self-determination and freedom and independence for African people. That's what we want people to be talking about. But we need right now, especially everybody out there, everybody in the world, to be talking about the campaign for Hands Off Uhuru and to drop the charges against the Uhuru 3. So we encourage everybody here to write letters to your editor of your local paper, demanding that the charges be dropped, protesting these bogus charges, and demanding that the paper cover this story. And also you can go to your local paper's offices and ask why they have not yet covered the Uhuru 3 story, and let them know that they need to be doing that and that your community demands to know about this story. And so join the media team, join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru Diane. And I really want to put Diane forward. It is hard work coordinating the media team, and Diane has taken on so much of that work. And so we really could use volunteers who would be interested in helping out with the media work, because to have a really dedicated media team for even building one event really ideally would require like 5 people, you know, more. So if you're interested in spreading the word about, you know, the trial coming up, if you're interested in seeing justice done and the charges dropped, you know, and stuff like that against the Uhuru 3, definitely these are reasons you could be a part of the USM media team and volunteer your skills to help with that. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Virginia. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Next slide. We do have a website. It is uhurusolidarity.org. That is where you go to pay reparations. That is where you go to become a member of USM. And that is also where you go to read the latest. There are blogs, the statements on Aaron Bushnell, written by our chair, Jesse Nevel, is very moving and informative. So there's the latest news on the Uhuru 3 and so forth. So this is our website, but we want you to come on in and be a part of the social media team, part of the Winning the Reparations War of Ideas Committee, so that we can update our website a bit. We want to have develop it so that it's really dynamic and does what it needs to do. And so we would love to have new volunteers who know about, you know, programming, and new graphic designers, a writers team, so many things that we want to make it just the very best it can be, because we have to get the message out. And this is the main place that people go to join USM, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, to become a member or to pay reparations. So it's got to be perfect. It has to be great. And so visit today, go there and visit our website for a minute, uhurusolidarity.org. And next slide. The Burning Spear newspaper. And first of all, I want to salute Chairman Omalia Shatella and the APSP, and also salute Director Akile of APSP Communications Director so much. And just know that the Burning Spear newspaper is the oldest Black Power newspaper in continuous publication. The Burning Spear newspaper is really kind of the voice of the party, if you will. There is so much essential political education inside the Burning Spear newspaper every month. And if, you know, this is something we take with us when we do our outreach and we sell the Burning Spear. You can subscribe to the Burning Spear yourself. You can subscribe to the Burning Spear and get a distributor bundle and sell it in your community, and stuff like that. So it's really important. It's an important resource. You can subscribe to the print version or the digital version, I believe. And there's also an online version, but you really want to get, I think my favorite is the print version. I love it. And I need to renew my subscription to the Burning Spear newspaper, but this is very important piece of, it's a useful tool for our outreach, you see, because we can open it up and show white people that we're talking to what we're talking about. This is our leadership. Look at this, you know, and or we can point out the most recent, you know, column written by Chairman O'Malley, or we can show them the events that are happening in the Black community where, you know, the party is helping overturn colonial conditions. And so anyway, it's just dynamic. And this is definitely one of the most important things that we do when we do our outreach, is to go out there with the Burning Spear and introduce it to other white people in our community and spread the word about it. There's also Burning Spear Archives, which is a treasure trove of important revolutionary history as well. So salute the Burning Spear, salute Director Akile, and salute African People's Socialist Party, Uhuru. Next slide. We want you to join the Reparations War of Ideas Committee. So if you are a graphic designer, or you just like doing graphic design, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, or you just enjoy writing, social media specialists, engagement specialists, marketing specialists, web developer, programmer, video editor, etc., join the Reparations War of Ideas Committee. You can use your talents, your skills, your passion for social justice and reparations to build this mass movement for reparations under the leadership of the revolutionary African working class, under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. So go to uhurusolidarity.org/volunteer to sign up to join the Reparations War of Ideas Committee. So we're gonna win that Reparations War of Ideas for sure. And they're at the event, they can tell you, like those who are in person, they can tell you how to sign up to join a committee. So I just want to thank you very much and say a big Uhuru to everybody in St. Louis and everybody watching online. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you so much, Comrade Virginia, and for all the work that you do on the social media team. So again, if you have that sheet, if you're here in person, you have that sheet, make sure you fill it out, and you can also fill it out online at tinyurl.com/5committees, the number 5. So next up, and that's not all the committees yet. Next up, we're going to hear from Sarah Ritterspa, who will talk a bit about the NTU Volunteer Brigade. Uhuru, Sarah.
Uhuru, everybody. All right. Doesn't look like I can start my video, but I am here nonetheless. So I am the National Volunteer Coordinator for the, there we go. Awesome. Yes. For the Uhuru Volunteer Brigade. And it is modeled after the Office of Deputy Chair, who really has put together an excellent NTU volunteer program. And we are just trying to emulate it here in USM. So a big salute to the Office of Deputy Chair for laying out that foundation and the blueprint. And of course, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, our leadership, and all of the leadership that I receive from Len and Chair Jesse of USM. So our volunteers really are the heart of what we do. Everything that you've seen presented before me is almost entirely volunteer-based. So my job is to continue growing that, and we'll look a little bit behind the scenes at how we do that. Awesome. So volunteers are key to building membership and branches. It all starts with volunteers, folks who hear what we're saying, who hear the message of African internationalism and want to be on the winning side of history. So they get involved, and whether that's through the social media team, through outreach, through, joining outright USM and getting involved in whatever talents they may have, they might lend to the movement. And then that leads to membership and branch building. So it really does start on the ground up with volunteers. And I wanted to salute the USM NTU volunteers to our most successful recruiting year yet. We have, we gained at least a handful of new volunteers every month for the second half of the year last year in audio engineering, website design. We are in the process of relaunching the USM newsletter in graphic design, social media, and fundraising outreach. So we're going to continue going strong in 2024 and getting volunteers. So joining the NTU Volunteer Brigade in 2024, some things we want to do is, as mentioned previously, build a Black Power Blueprint work brigade, throw appreciation parties, build branches, and increase membership. So a lot of what we've been doing comes from just posting necessary roles, primarily online. LinkedIn has been a great tool for us, and we're looking to do get on platforms such as Catch-a-Fire, things like that. But any ways that we can get volunteers to continue building our NTU Volunteer Brigade, we will be doing them. So cheers to 2024 and a big salute to 2023. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Uhuru. Yeah, I just really want to salute Sarah Ritterspot in Minneapolis. She's just an absolutely incredible member of our National Steering Committee that we deeply cherish and love, and just want to express our profound appreciation to this comrade. She's done a great job working with a whole slew of volunteers over this past year. And Sarah is very much a stickler about follow-up and making sure that nobody falls through the cracks, and that we work to get people into orientations. And then once they've done an orientation, to make sure that they actually get assigned to an area of work and that they are followed up with. So just really want to salute Sarah, and a lot of the volunteers that you saw in previous presentations, including Josette, who does the newsletter in the membership office, our amazing social media volunteers, Allie, Adri, Caitlin, Jeremiah. These are all people that Sarah played a big role in bringing in. So we have one more national organizing committee that's going to be presenting now. And before we do that, I do want to mention that we are going to have to table our final workshop that was going to follow this one. We are going to have a mass meeting on March 19th about the March Against Genocide campaign, where what we were intending to present to you today will be presented in that workshop on March 19th, a mass meeting that Uhuru Solidarity Movement will be holding, because we are coming to the end of our program today, and we still have the elections of our National Steering Committee right after this, and we do want to have some time for discussion on this report. So I want to remind everybody, you have the sheet, 5 committees you can join, and the regional committees. And after you fill this out, what do you do with it? What you do is you can hand it to myself, to Len, to Amanda, or to Leah. So you have 4 people here that you can hand it to before you leave. And if you're online, fill it out on the Google form that is being put in the chat. So now I would like to introduce Comrade Amanda Carlozzi, our Vice Chair and National Treasurer, and also the Chair of the 5th and final committee we'll be talking about today, which is the Reparations Organizing Committee. Uhuru.
Before I begin, I want to briefly call up Ruby, if Ruby is available, because Ruby's going to be talking about one of the things that we do in raising reparations for various programs of the African People's Socialist Party, including the Black Power Blueprints. But I just really want to appreciate everyone that spoke before me and all the amazing work that is happening all over the world under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And I'm going to talk about what it is that we do as members of USM, which is raise reparations. So I'm calling on everyone to join the Reparations Organizing Committee, which is the committee that leads all the various campaigns that we do throughout the year to raise reparations for the institutions of the party. And this is a historic photo of APSC showing that reparations is the cornerstone of our work. So we can go to the next slide. So this is a quote from the Constitution of the African People's Socialist Party, which says that the highest expression of genuine political unity with the struggle of colonized African people from those of the oppressor nation population is material solidarity. So it's returning the stolen wealth so that the party, which is the vanguard, can build institutions of dual and contending power, just like the ones that we saw this morning. Next slide. And this committee works directly under the leadership of the Office of Reparations and Economic Development, which is under the leadership of Deputy Chair Onizne. And I do just want to say that, our work in USM, we've been able to, make tremendous leaps and bounds in the amount of reparations that we're able to raise every single year. For example, there was a time when USM's full commitment for an entire year, the various fundraising work that we did was a goal of $20,000, which is what we raised yesterday. So, just really appreciate the work of Deputy Chair. And I also want to really appreciate Director Kitty Riley, who leads the Office of Reparations and Economic Development. Next slide. So we saw the Black Power Blueprint today. This is just one example of what, you're able to see with your own eyes when we raise reparations. It goes to these programs, but also all of the work that the party is doing all over the world. Next slide. So what are we going to be doing in the upcoming year? In conjunction with the Capital Campaign Project, we are going to be relaunching the Reparations Legacy Project, organizing white people with access to wealth to redistribute the resources towards the work of the party as a stand of reparations. And we, heard that the next generation is going to be inheriting $70 trillion in generational wealth. And that is generational stolen wealth that needs to be put back into the hands of the African working class. And we will have a conference about the Reparations Legacy Project in March. In August. It's March right now, in August. Another thing that we do, and I want to really appreciate, again, Brendan, who has led the Reparations Telethon, Giving Tuesday Telethon for the past few years. And this is a really dynamic 24-hour program that showcases the Uhuru movements, and 24 hours, let me tell you, is not enough time. But it raises tens of thousands of dollars for APDF every single year, and it's just a really amazing and dynamic program. Next slide. And is Ruby available? Oh, there you are, Ruby. So Ruby's going to talk about Give St. Louis Day.
Uhuru. Thank you so much, Amanda. Earlier today, when we all went on that fantastic tour led by President Hoehne, one of the things that we saw was the new Uhuru Bakery and Cafe, which right now is not functioning yet, but it is going to be, and we're going to do a big fundraiser for it it's called Give St. Louis Day. And that Give St. Louis Day itself is Thursday, May 9th, but we are starting building for it now. And we want to invite everybody to participate, and we want to raise $10,000 for that cafe, going towards the completion of that cafe on and before Give St. Louis Day. There's a lot of ways you can participate, whether you're here or whether you're not here. You can donate, you can host your own fundraiser, and we will train you how to do that. You can participate in collective phone banking from wherever you are. You can participate in the telethon, which Brendan is going to be, coordinating that telethon as well. And we're going to have a volunteer meeting on Saturday, April 6th on Zoom at 2 p.m. Oh, wait, 2 p.m. is Pacific time, 4 p.m. Central time, 5 p.m. Eastern, here, I'm not sure where and on Zoom. I think here, but it's not consolidated yet. But I really want to see who would like to help raise that $10,000. Is there anybody here? Can you raise your hand that wants to participate in doing that? And okay, great. I can't see everybody in the back. I know I don't have much time, but I want to, could people just leave their hands up for one more second so I can just write down who is saying they want to do this, and we will contact you. Okay, good. You can write it down. Thank you. Okay, so if everybody writes it down, that's fantastic. I really want to encourage you, if you're a social media person, if you are, want to reach out to your friends and family, that's part of hosting your own fundraiser. That's how we go beyond our regular, base that we have and keep expanding, is through these fundraisers. Great. I think we can exceed our $10,000 goal with these many people. So thank you. And if you change your mind and you still want to do it, please let us know.
Uhuru. Thank you, Ruby. Uhuru. So we can go to the next slide here. Another campaign that we lead from the Reparations Organizing Committee is the Birthdays for Reparations. And I want to salute Sarah, who we heard from earlier, who does an amazing job leading this campaign. And this is a fundraiser that Jackson held, where Jackson raised almost $1,500 for the work of APDF. So you can do that as well on Facebook, Instagram, or on the blackpowerblueprint.org. Next slide. Another aspect of the Reparations Organizing Committee is, of course, appreciating our donors. And these are two photos from an NTU volunteer appreciation event that was held by the Office of Deputy Chair, where people were presented with awards for their amazing work that they did. And we want to be able to do that as well in USM for people that contribute a significant amount of reparations, people that, fundraise for reparations like Leah does consistently every month, and other people as well. And that needs a full committee. So if you come onto the Reparations Organizing Committee, that is a main component of what we could be doing as well. You can go to the next slide. And I want to bring up Leah to talk about the grants work.
Uhuru. So part of my reparations work is as the USM representative on the grants exec team, which is a team of extraordinarily talented individuals who work under the leadership of Deputy Chair Onizanaya Shatella to secure resources for the programs and projects of the Black Power Blueprint, including the tremendous capital campaign that Deputy Chair spoke about yesterday. So I really want to salute Deputy Chair for her tireless work to bring the Black Power Blueprint to life. And the grants team that works under her leadership includes Maureen, who is here, and Janice, who is also here, and Wendy Craig, who is online, who through their ongoing work show true dedication to returning stolen African resources and repairing the damage wrought by colonialism. And I just want to make an added note that I had zero experience writing grants before I joined this team. So I just, if you unite with wanting to tear down colonialism and be under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, you can do anything. Yeah. I actually enjoy writing grants now. I never thought that I would enjoy doing that ever. So yes, this is an organization that can really bring out your skills and your talents as long as you really want to see a true change in this world. So recently the grants team celebrated some exciting victories. We won a grant from the Community Arts and Movement Project of St. Louis, which will fund the Black Power Blueprint's Uhuru Wakulea Freedom to Nurture African Maternal Health Center. So a special salute to our comrade Angelica, who is also here. She's a big part of creating the connection that helped USM to win this grant from camp. So thank you so much, Uhuru, Angelica. We also won a grant from the Women's Sports Foundation, which will support the creation of a comprehensive African girls basketball program on the newly built community basketball court that we saw during the tour. Next slide. And 2024 is going to be an exciting year for the grants team because it's all hands on deck for the capital campaign to bring the funding for the anti-colonial projects of the Black Power Blueprint to a whole new level. So we on the grants team have begun our work to research grant opportunities and create plans of action. We invite you to join us in this work to shake loose the resources that are held in the white community and return them to the African community. So again, wherever that sheet is with the 5 committees, you can sign up on the Reparations Organizing Committee and be part of the grants team as well. So you can also email us at grants@reparationslegacy.org. Yeah, but sign up on that sheet and we'll get in touch with you. Thank you, everyone. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Thank you, Leah. You can go to the next slide. So this is the March for Reparations, which this year is going to be called the March Against Genocide, which is a throwback to the marches that APSC led in the 80s and beyond. So we are going to have, like Chair Jesse said earlier, a mass meeting all about this campaign, but just to say briefly, it is a amazing pledge drive campaign, door to door, hosting fundraisers, having events leading up to this main event, and just doing everything we can to really build in your community. All the work that you do as an organizing committee or a branch in your city can lead up to a really powerful march against genocide. Next slide. And if you're a member of USM, you are part of paying reparations to the party, because your membership payments, whether it's every single month or once a year, goes towards that work. So the work to win 1,000 members and more this year is a huge part of winning reparations for the work of the party. Next slide. So get involved. I want you to join this committee. Bring your skills, ideas, your enthusiasm, and don't limit yourself to the couple of slides that I had on here. Like I said, Leah, does a very unique fundraiser every single month called the Reparations Treatment. So if you have a thing that you do that you think, oh, I can use this to win reparations, please join this committee and let us know how to become, the most successful fundraiser that we have in the year. So, Uhuru.
Thank you so much, Comrade Amanda and Comrade Leah. Really, really great. So as we come to the end of this here, I just want to take a moment and salute all of our amazing members that are here in USM, that are here in person, that are online and everywhere throughout the world. Just give yourselves a big round of applause. Really appreciate all the amazing members. And if you're not yet a member and you want to become a member, go to uhurusolidarity.org/join. And our next slide here. So just kind of recap, there are 5 different committees that you can be a part of. One is the Membership and Branch Building Committee that coordinates the regional tours that will be coming this spring. That is coordinated by myself. You can join the War of Ideas Committee that is coordinated by Virginia. The Student Commission that is coordinated by Lauren. You can join the Reparations Organizing Committee led by Comrade Amanda, and the March Against Genocide Organizing Committee that Jesse will be coordinating, that you can learn more about on March 19th. So go to tinyurl.com/5committees, the number 5, and fill out that Google form or the Google form that you have in your folder, the sheet that you have, and choose the committees that you want to sign up for. And it could be more than one. And in our next slide here, if you don't really know how you want to get involved, but you know that you want to, you can, in our next slide, sign up for an Uhuru Solidarity Movement orientation and sign up, learn a little bit more about the history of the party and the history of APSC and USM and the different types of work that we do that you might want to get involved in. And you can sign up for an orientation at uhurusolidarity.org/volunteer. And thank you, everybody.
So we would like to open it up for 15 minutes of discussion this time.
Okay, so this has been wonderful. Thank you to everybody who has spoken today. Everybody has been wonderfully informative. I was wondering, who would I talk to about the process of building a bridge? What that looks like?
Boom.
That's you? Okay.
That's
okay.
Len right there.
Yeah, so I live around the Cape Girardeau area, and would you like to just like set up a meeting time or something like that? We can talk about that. All right.
That was not planned. Thank you, Nix. Uhuru.
Where's Nick saying from what area?
Cape Girardeau.
Uhuru, Deputy Chair.
Really want to appreciate the workshop. I want to appreciate the whole Uhuru Solidarity Movement Conference. I just had a question about the Black Power Blueprint brigades, working brigades, and how is that different from Uhuru NTU brigades? I mean, are we meeting together to make this happen? Just, you know.
We need to, yeah.
Okay.
I think they're really intertwined.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's really intertwined with, you know, the Black Power Blueprint, you know, being on campus, you know, we built a real political relationship and also a working relationship with WashU and the various universities here. So I hope that we can get together and see how we can, you know, come together to make those things happen in a real concrete way where we're not trying to pull from each other, but work together as one.
Definitely.
Would be something that the Black Power Blueprint would, you know, love to do.
Uhuru. Uhuru.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to say that this issue of the brigades is something that I've been talking about pulling for a while, and I agree that it shouldn't be pulling from, you know, other projects, etc. But I think it's going to be more than even just the kinds of resources and things that it generates. And I think that part of what this brigade can do, bringing people from everywhere into St. Louis.
Right.
It gives it gives evidence to the lie of the government. It allows people to come in and see some ownership of this project. So it's everybody's project, you know, in terms of negating colonialism, and people can volunteer. That's what they're volunteering to do. And so that's something that lends allies to this struggle. It struggles against the, you know, this false notion that's put forth by the United States government. It gives everybody a stake in it. And I think that's important as well. And also, just in terms of significance of this convention, and USM and APSC, you heard Commander Thea talk about what happened with SNCC, especially the 1964-66 thing when the Atlanta project happened. The Atlanta project, by the way, was responding to the fact that Julian Bond had won an election to Congress out of Georgia. If I'm not mistaken, it was Congress, and they refused to seat Bond because of his position on Vietnam. Because Bond was a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And so that position on Vietnam, they refused to see him. And was that Georgia legislature? Perhaps that was a state representative for Georgia. State representative for Georgia. Who was that? That said
Jesse Todd.
Jesse Todd, right. And so they wouldn't see him. So he had to run a couple of times. And when, again, you know, they wouldn't see him. So this in question the whole electoral process. This time it's Vietnam, it's Russia with us, you know, et cetera. So I just wanted to make that point. But beyond that, when SNCC made the position of telling like the white people they should go back to their own community to do such and such a thing, they didn't do it.
Right.
And we go beyond SNCC because we're not just saying that, we've given white people relationship to the Black Revolution that takes them into the white community under the leadership of the Black Revolution. So it's not left onto your own to go and find something to do. And I think that's really important, what has occurred here. And then the question of colonial media. This is a tricky proposition because left to their own, they won't cover us. But the way we got them to do this after the uprisings in St. Petersburg, Florida, after they killed Tyrone Lewis and the rebellion happened, we broke through by having white people in the solidarity movement all around the country call their local newspapers and say, my uncle or somebody in St. Petersburg said all this stuff happened. What is going on? I don't see anything about it. And so the thing is to give them a sense of somehow that they're in competition with the fact that people know something about this thing, and if you don't get on top of it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So they make it necessary for them to act like they have to put their own spin on it. They won't do it if they don't think anybody else is aware of it.
Right.
But if they're in your own community, so if the news media from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, as an example, is calling the, you know, news media some other forces in this particular city, or somebody's calling from somebody else, then that incentivizes, in theory anyway, them to do that. We have to think of a way. In 1964, the civil rights movement was kind of petering out for around this country, and the way we got because the media wouldn't cover it. How did we get the media to cover it in 1964? We invited white people. That's what the 19 Summer Project was about. They were killing us in Mississippi. So they invite white people to come as volunteers, and white people came, you know, all into Mississippi, et cetera. Of course, what happened on the first day, then they killed 2 white people and this African. So then the media is paying attention to it because all these white people are there. So we have to be able to find a way to use your whiteness also as something that incentivizes the media to have to deal with this question. So I think we should just consider that. I don't know exactly what that means, but we are in a meeting with very clever people, and collectively, you know, we can put together plans of action and what have you to make them have to deal with it.
Uhuru.
Yeah.
Uhuru. I just really wanted to salute this report. I was just so moved by it, and it was really impressive. And even though I see and I get reports, but just to see this, and the thing that I would say one of the things that is really moving and powerful is that this has, and Comrade Jesse's leadership, you know, in particular, has built an organization of leaders and of out there all over with confidence to take this on and to understand the political line and how to express it and have the materials to do that. And everybody has these amazing responsibilities that you're taking on. It's very powerful to see. And I mean, I just thought all of, you know, Comrade Amanda, you got right here, Lynn, Sarah, Virginia, that was an amazing report. Oh my God, it was like, wow. Comrade Wendy, Jamie, Johan, Kara, Leah, Lauren, James, Redbeard, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, but that was, you know, and just the work that Lynn did in this as well. I mean, it's really, really powerful organization and comrades, and I'm just so proud of you all. It's really a stand, a genuine stand of true solidarity and what reparations mean, and you know, just the ability to go out there in a week and win all of the millions of members that we're talking about, because we have an incredible core and infrastructure of, you know, of cadre, really, and in so many ways. And yeah, so I salute you. I salute Comrade Jesse's leadership and all of the work and leadership that you all take on all over this country. And oh my God, it's just really powerful. So unity through
Reparations. Uhuru. Yes, I just really wanted to appreciate all of those comments from Deputy Chair, from the Chairman, and from you, Chairwoman Penny, and just, you know, on behalf of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, just salute Chairwoman Penny Hess's leadership, and you know, not just as some figurehead, but you know, for working with us as the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, as APSC's mass organization every single day, with me and with all of us, to provide just, you know, incredible leadership to what it means to build the mass organization of white solidarity with Black power. Uhuru. Oh yeah, go ahead, man. And I also just wanted to appreciate what the chairman said about the Black Power Blueprint brigades. And I know, Chairman, you've talked about the Venceremos brigades that went to Cuba, and people would go to Cuba and do work and be able to experience the Cuban Revolution, and then come back to the United States and hold presentations with their comrades and friends to say, this was my experience in revolutionary Cuba. We want people to come to revolutionary North St. Louis and revolutionary South St. Louis with the Uhuru Solidarity Center and see Uhuru City and be able to experience it and be able to go back to their communities and show and talk about that and rebuild it. It's the Black Power Blueprint, so it needs to be replicated. So I think that's going to be really exciting. And I also just wanted to appreciate what you said, Deputy Chair, about just the amazing groundwork that the party has built and the work with students and the Black Power Blueprint in particular at WashU and other campuses. And that picture was from an event. I had the honor to be there, but the chairman spoke at that and Deputy Chair spoke and Chairwoman Penny spoke. And it was with WashU students from, I think, 2 different student organizations that had worked really closely with the Black Power Blueprint. When you see these big group photos of volunteers out here at the garden and working on different projects, a lot of those are students that the Black Power Blueprint has recruited in huge numbers. And we also heard the report yesterday about students that are developed a grant. So there's a lot of amazing work that's happened. And recently, after the intensification of Israel's genocidal assault on Gaza started, we were at WashU and there was a big demonstration of students. And we went there to try to do outreach for our March for Reparations. And I got the opportunity to say a few words to announce the march. So I introduced myself and I said, I'm with the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. A bunch of people in the crowd went, Uhuru, and already knew who we were. And that's because of the Black Power Blueprint and the party's work there. So we have a lot of incredible work to do to build on that and work together with that and build the presence of USM on these campuses, which is something the chairman has been calling for from the very beginning of USM organizing in St. Louis, is to get on these campuses and build and recruit and form student organizations of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Uhuru, where are we at with time, our timekeeper? We have 3 more minutes. Yes, Deputy Chair.
Yeah, Leah, because the time on.
Really piggyback off of what Penny was saying, and I just really appreciate the regional reports, and particularly the Western region.
Yeah.
With Comrade Redbeard, Wendy, and Kara. And when you look at those 3 comrades alone, they have about 80 years of combined experience. I mean, together, 80 years of combined experience in the whole movement. So we know that when Maureen and Bakri set up the regional meeting for the whole region, we know that the region is going to be in good hands and they're going to build what they have to build and keep Uhuru going strong in the Western movement. So I just really want to appreciate you comrades in the Western region as well.
Yes, Uhuru.
I was attempting to avoid showing any kind of prejudices here. But the fact is that these comrade veterans are fundamental.
Yes.
They're fundamental. They are so many ways the core of everything.
Yep.
And Josh, I'm talking about vets. They're fundamental to everything. I mean, in so many ways. I mean, the spirit and everything of the movement, and there are stories that didn't get told.
Right.
About the roles that these comrades have played in this movement historically, and it's just been marvelous. And so I wanted to acknowledge that. And every place we've talked about, I've been there, and I've worked there in different ways, and even in Louisville.
Yep.
Where Virginia was speaking from. She wasn't there when I was there, but we had a serious presence there. We went back there as a consequence of that. We are back there now with Virginia, and we're going to be back there in other ways as well. So this history is just extraordinarily important. We should embrace this history, learn it and learn from it. So I just wanted to say that. And there are things I could say about so many of these comrades and the work they've done, the relationships we had, and the things they've gone through. Some of it I can't talk about. Because I don't know if the statute of limitations. But
No comment on that.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to say one other thing, that even, just out of the blue, my sister texted me today and said that she wants to come here this summer to volunteer. I didn't even tell her.
Wow.
So she'll be able to be part of this.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I also want to say that the summer intensive that USM held in 2022 was ended about one day before the raids.
Right.
And in that, USM dropped, what, 20,000 flyers? That was part of what the intensive did. It did drops all over in this neighborhood, Tower Grove, just for several miles around, in the center, around the center, and Gravois. And that alone, that was just like nullified so much, because I know that somebody that I knew that I had to work with in terms of stuff to do around my mom at that time told me that they knew other people in the neighborhoods around, where we dropped. And this was right after the raids, and they said the community is with them. And that's what this person, I don't even know, how, he knows that. And I just feel like the work that we did, it was so important. It was just intuitive, whatever, that knew that the state can attack, and did the work and won the community and came in. And it was right after the party got the Solidarity Center, and had just opened, and we were able to tell people what this was about and what it stood for. And Black Heart Blueprint was a great piece. So it's just so important, even, doing this work and being out there in the community, in the city that has done all the atrocities to, where Mike Brown was murdered, and many other Africans.
Yeah.
And, just all the atrocities to the African community and what that means, and all the white people that do want to support it. And it is out there to be had, and you all have done an amazing job. So
Uhuru. Thank you, Chairman Penny. And we have time for one more comment from Comrade Maureen, and then we will turn back over to our MC.
I want to appreciate this report too. And what people were saying about the comrades on the West Coast and also in Florida, and just the relationship to the party's institutions, and especially Black Star Industries and through Uhuru Pies. Wendy and Redbeard are top pie sellers. Leah came from Minnesota last year, and we could not send enough pies out on the table for her to sell. Every time she went out, like, damn, we need to sell a lot more. Yeah. Sarah Ritterstock as well. And every time they're out there, they're organizing other white people. Jamie is on the phone constantly. Wendy takes it into the schools. She has so many people for years and years and years. Redbeard has a whole plan that he does himself about selling 3 pies, and then he brought into a whole campaign to go to homeless shelters and other things like that have developed all these relationships. And Leah said she'd never written a grant before. I didn't know that. And she just contributes so much, and then really instrumental in the reparations work in that way. So it's all really related to the strategy coming out of Deputy Chair's office. And just really appreciate Amanda and Len. And those reports are amazing because they show a history, but they also show a vision.
Uhuru. Thank you, Comrade Maureen. All right, well, I just want to give another round of applause to all of our amazing comrades in the leadership of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Uhuru. I'll turn it back over to one of those leaders, Comrade Lauren, our MC. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you. So we are now going to hear another USM testimonial video, this one from Kara.
Uhuru. I can honestly say that my real education began in 2012 while sitting listening to Chairman Omali Yeshitela speak on his brilliant scientific theory of African internationalism. Little did I know that 12 years later, I would not only be armed with the true history of how the world has been working for the past 600 years under colonial capitalism, but an understanding of my place as a white person within it. I have learned that this contrived white colonial settler state is parasitic to the colonial mode of production, that colonized people must live in horrific conditions in order to continue capitalism as we know it, and that my very existence and all white people's existence on this land is the result of the genocide of the indigenous and enslavement of the Africans. As the martyr Aaron Bushnell said, this is what our ruling class has decided will be normal. But there is nothing normal or natural about it. It is inhumane and dystopian. Being in USM means I no longer have to wallow in the hopeless existence of white guilt and cognitive dissonance because I have a place under the leadership and guidance of the African working class. I get to stand in solidarity with African people, indigenous people, Palestinian people, all colonized people in the most profound way for them to have freedom and power over their own lives. I get to pay reparations and organize other white people who are also looking for real answers to pay reparations and join USM. It means I do not have to live complicit to genocide because I have a place that is not only summing up the world, but giving me the understanding and tools as a white person to stand on the right side of history.
Uhuru, thank you, Kara. That was really inspiring. And like it was said before, you too can be like Kara. You can become a member, you can get involved and learn how to organize in a principled way under the leadership of the APSP. So we have one more segment. This segment is the appointment of the USM chair and the elections of the USM National Steering Committee. USM, as the mass organization of the African People's Solidarity Committee, does hold a national election of the National Steering Committee every year. And the only post that is appointed and not elected is that of the chair. That's appointed by the APSC with the approval from the Central Committee of the party and Chairman Omali Yeshitela. And the reason for that is because USM is under the leadership of the party. So please welcome back Chairwoman Penny of the APSC to announce the USM chair.
Uhuru, I feel that incredible report answers the question. And that was, I just want to say that it is my honor to of course, to appoint Comrade Jesse Nevel to the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Of course, the appointment, which I know is not something I would even have to discuss, has the full support of the Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Deputy Chair Onasene Yeshitela, and the African People's Socialist Party. And I can only say that, and I said some of it when I was there before, because Comrade Jesse, your leadership builds leadership in others. And I know that there is, because you exude absolute confidence and enthusiasm for African internationalism and the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party and what it means to win reparations to African people, and just, you exude that, and it is infectious, that and others catch it. It's like, yes, I want to be part of this. So just everything you do, that nothing is too great or too small for you to take on. You jump into it all wholeheartedly. Maybe even becoming a lawyer, becoming the lawyer, it's certainly the people's lawyer that have helped us understand a lot of this thing that's going on here and working with the legal team, and just a tremendous work that you do every single day. And I do know and see the respect that the comrades under your leadership have for you as well, and just how wonderful all of the comrades in the leadership and membership of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement are. You set the standard for that, and what it means for a white person to be in genuine solidarity with African liberation and the peoples on the planet Earth. So, Uhuru comrades!
Uhuru. Thank you, Chairman Penny Hess. Uhuru. Thank you, Chairwoman Penny. Chairwoman Penny Hess of the African People's Solidarity Committee. And I just want to express, what an incredible honor it is to even be a member of this organization, and just express my profound revolutionary love to Chairman Amalia Shatella, to Deputy Chair Ona Zanea Shatella, to the African People's Socialist Party, and to Chairwoman Penny Hess and all of the members of the African People's Solidarity Committee. I really can't express it enough, how grateful I am that first I went to see Chairwoman Penny speak in 2009, and then just a few months later picked up that flyer at USF St. Pete about the chairman speaking on campus there, and changed my life, and just so grateful and honored to be a part of this, and also want to express my love to all of the members of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Just such incredible comrades that I'm so honored and humbled to work with. And under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, the culture of reparations is coming to life. It is becoming a reality because of all of you. So just want to salute all of you, Uhuru. Reparations. We are winning. Vanguard up, relentless. Uhuru. So now it is my honor to preside over our elections of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Steering Committee. And does everybody here have their red voting card? All of our members, I should say. It should be in your registration packet. Take a minute to find your voter card, red voter card in your registration packet. So let's go to the next slide. So election guidelines. Uhuru Solidarity Movement members will vote to accept the National Steering Committee nominees and nominees for open positions. Only in-person attendees can vote at this time. And if you are not a USM member, please refrain from voting or join now. uhurusolidarity.org/join if you want voting rights.
You need 8 more.
Yes, exactly. We need 8 more. 8 more. So now I want to present to you our amazing slate for the National Steering Committee coming out of this convention. These comrades you just saw, as Chairman Penny said, that report is everything you need to know about these amazing leaders. And I just want to go ahead and say a little bit about them and why I am fully supporting all of these candidates for their positions on the National Steering Committee. I will start with a new addition to our National Steering Committee, and actually a new role in our steering committee, which is the Student Commission Organizer. And I can think of no better person to take that on than Comrade Lauren, because she was already doing it before we even asked her about doing that role. And because she is such an incredible, just also infectious enthusiasm of unity with African internationalism that she embodies. And, you heard that big list of endorsers that endorsed this convention. that was Lauren's work. That was Lauren's work. So I'm really excited. Lauren is already putting together a plan of action and trying to connect with other comrades who have experience organizing on the campuses to really make this happen. And with Lauren at the helm of our Student Organizing Commission, I have so much confidence this is going to happen. We are going to have student organizations of USM and Uhuru Solidarity Movement presence in campuses throughout this country and beyond. So that is my nomination for Lauren. Jamie Simpson, our Southern Regional Coordinator. So Jamie has been in this position on an interim basis. So with your vote, he would be officially voted in today as the Southern Regional Coordinator. And Jamie is just an incredible recruiter and organizer. I feel like every time I talk to Jamie, he's like, oh yeah, Jonathan. So I'm like, who's Jonathan? He's always got some new person he's working with and bringing in, and they don't just fall off the map. They end up getting active and involved. And I come into a meeting and they sound like they've been in the Uhuru movement for 10 years. And that's because they've been hanging around Jamie. So just really want to salute that comrade. He is relentless on the ground, organizing every opportunity he can get. And I think in this period, Jamie is really stepping up to embrace what it means to be a regional organizer as well, and working to expand USM's presence into Miami, to Tampa, Gainesville, Asheville, North Carolina, and I know really hungry to build in every other place we can in the Southern region. So just a great organizer, a great comrade, and someone that I think it's definitely a very important person to have. An asset to our National Steering Committee is Jamie Simpson. And then Virginia Wilson, out in Louisville, Kentucky, our social media coordinator. You saw that amazing report that Virginia put together. And Virginia is a hard worker. She is a very dedicated hard worker. She does a lot of the work that she is also leading other people to do when it comes to putting together graphics, editing videos, looking for great clips of Chairman Amalia Shatella speaking. Virginia has a great eye for that viral moment, you know, in a speech that she's able to cut down from Chairwoman Penny or from Chairman O'Malley or from other party members and leaders into these great, this great content that we can put out through social media. And she's really stepped up in this period. Virginia's been in the movement for many years now, but in this period, especially after the FBI raids, when the party made the call, for anyone who gets it, who already understands why this is so important, that we have a responsibility to go all the way in this period. And Virginia has been one of those people. So Virginia is coming on as the social media coordinator, renewing her role. We will be re-electing her as the social media coordinator, which she has been working with Comrade Hoehne in that capacity for the past year. And then Wendy Snyder in the Western region. This is a role Wendy's been carrying out on an interim basis. If someone is voted in by the National Steering Committee, it's considered interim. And then when they're officially voted in by you all, the membership, it becomes an official role on the steering committee. And Comrade Wendy Snyder is someone who also has many, many years of experience that honestly benefits all of us. I mean, any meeting that we're in that Wendy is in, the wisdom and experience and just savvy as an organizer that Wendy has from her many years of working in, in the African People's Solidarity Committee, Uhuru Solidarity Movement under the leadership of the party is absolutely invaluable. And also on the ground in Oakland, just the great work in the Bay Area, and now working to get connected with all the forces in the region. Just an incredibly dynamic comrade, organizer, and African internationalist, and very brave and very determined to go into any situation and win whatever can be won. So really salute Comrade Wendy, who we're putting forward for the Western Regional Coordinator. And then Sarah Ritterspa, our multiple hats wearing member of the National Steering Committee, National Secretary, NTU Volunteer Coordinator, and Birthday Fundraisers Coordinator. Also someone who absolutely exudes the revolutionary optimism and life that we are able to have of the joy of fighting for reparations and being under the leadership and finding our humanity in the African Revolution. And also a very hard worker, also a great recruiter, another comrade who has recruited several members of her family to be donors and members to the work of the Uhuru movement. And really, want to put forward Sarah for all of her great work and someone that I definitely back as returning to her various roles in the National Steering Committee going forward this year. And of course, I have to put forward and salute just a brilliant, amazing comrade, Len Demmer, our membership coordinator, who's here with us right now. Len has done a lot of different roles in this movement during, I can't believe 2020. Wow. That's another person who it feels like Len been here for a long time. That's incredible. So that's like the chairman talks about in this period, everything's condensed and the development is, you know, it's the period that we're living in. And Len is a representation of that, coming in, you know, in the flames of the uprisings coming, you know, after the murder of George Floyd. Here's Len Demmer looking for a way to take that to the next level and join organization. And Len, in just his first few months as a member of USM, organized a March for Reparations in Philadelphia. Len became the coordinator of the Reparations Legacy Project for about 2 years, and also coordinated at one point our 24-hour reparations telethon, and has done so much more, and now has just done such an amazing job wrapping his arms around this massive area of work, which is membership, building the USM membership. So Len is very ambitious, creative, dedicated, hardworking, and just an absolute pleasure to work with. And I know everybody who works with Len feels that way. So it's really good to know that membership is in good hands with Comrade Len. So I am fully supporting Len Demmer for returning to the role of the coordinator of the International Recruitment and Membership Office. And on top of all of that, Len is an amazing local organizer of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement here in St. Louis. We recently had Poets Against Genocide, and I think 95% of the people who showed up to that said Len was the reason that they were there. So just want to salute Len's incredible stance and work, and Uhuru Len. And last but definitely not least, and no one is least, but last but definitely not least, I want to salute Amanda Carlozzi. Uhuru. Amanda is our vice chair and our national treasurer, and also coordinates security for the African People's Solidarity Committee and many, many other roles. But Amanda joined the Uhuru Solidarity Movement when she was in Boston. Many of our comrades here were in Boston, and there was an incredible branch there led by Comrade Halley. And then Amanda was called on by APSC, by the party, to move to St. Petersburg, Florida, which she did. And she did incredible organizing work in St. Petersburg, in the local work, in the election campaign in 2019 of Director Akile and I, and then was called upon by APSC and the party to move to St. Louis and organize here. And within a few months of moving here, Amanda was there on July 29th with the assault rifles of the FBI pointed at her face as she and I came down the stairs. And in fact, in that video that you've seen of the Hands Off Uhuru 3-minute video, when you hear that voice at the beginning of the FBI saying, "This is the FBI, come out with your hands up and nothing in your hands, follow orders," that was because Amanda immediately called Chairwoman Penny that morning, and it went to voicemail because, as the chairman says, they jammed our phones. So Amanda slipped her phone into her pocket and went down with her hands up. And a 3-minute voicemail was recorded on Chairwoman Penny's phone. Which is what she did that on purpose. That's classic Amanda right there. Very ingenious. So and that's what you're hearing at the beginning of that video. That was actually from 2654 Gravois Ave. So I really want to salute Comrade Amanda just for your courageous stance and for your unity with reparations to African people, for fighting for material solidarity with the African People's Socialist Party, and also just for your stance in every area of work that you're in, just a leader that many of our comrades in Uhuru Solidarity Movement look to as an example. So just really want to salute Amanda, who I am definitely supporting to return to the position this year, to continue in the position as vice chair. and national treasurer, which the treasurer role is huge, by the way. The treasurer role is really taking responsibility for making sure that those reparations get to where they're supposed to go. And that means tracking everything, a lot of spreadsheets and pie charts and calculations that somehow Amanda is able to keep in her brain. And she does an amazing job with that. And now she's working to build the reparations organizing committee to bring other people into that work as well. So really want to salute Comrade Vice Chair Amanda Uhuru. And next slide. So nominations and open positions. So the way we're doing this is that if you would like to join the National Steering Committee, which you should consider doing, you can email us at info@uhurusolidarity.org if you're interested in nominating yourself to fulfill a role on an interim basis pending our next election next year. And we can bring you, the National Steering Committee can vote to bring you in even, next week. But we want to encourage people to submit nominations by going to info@uhurusolidarity.org. We have currently open positions: outreach coordinator, info ed coordinator, political action coordinator, and the Reparations Legacy Project coordinator, and Northern and Midwestern regional coordinators. So I'm going to quickly go over the job descriptions, and I'm self-critical, I actually don't have the political action one. But we do want to talk about building marches against genocide and many other kinds of political actions, which needs its own committee and its own team. So outreach coordinator is responsible for developing a plan of action for outreach, defining how USM will widely reach the white community, especially through monthly and weekly tabling, coordinates the best use of various forms of outreach throughout USM to meet the goals of the National Outreach Plan, which includes phone banking, tabling, posting, emailing, texting, social media, drops, soapboxing, door-to-door, four corners, and more. And this person works closely with their info ed chair to develop all forms of outreach, including leaflets, burning spear, media, radio shows, etc. Next slide is the info ed coordinator. This person would be responsible for leading the National Information and Education team that designs our leaflets, posters, banners, and other materials for our national and local campaigns, coordinates our website, works with the Reparations in Action podcast to develop that podcast, and also makes sure all USM organizers have everything they need to build branches on the ground where they are, and also trains everyone in USM how to develop literature in the style of the African People's Socialist Party. And then we have the Northern and Midwest regional coordinator positions, which are open, which these roles are responsible for developing the plan to build USM branches throughout your region and leading weekly or bi-weekly regional meetings of your regional committee and holding the regional work accountable through reports, through meetings, through a plan of action that sets the goals and strategy for recruitment, fundraising, outreach, events, political actions, and other committees. And finally, the Reparations Legacy Project, which will be coordinated through the Reparations Organizing Committee led by Comrade Amanda. But this particular campaign needs its own coordinator and needs its own team. And this is a really significant aspect of the work that we are doing that we were called upon to build by Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Deputy Chair Onezene Yeshitela, which is to develop a plan of action and lead the committee that organizes the work to win white people with access to wealth, to redistribute that wealth as a stand of reparations. So not as a stand of philanthropy, philanthropic charity or something like that, but as the return of the stolen resources back into the hands of the African People's Socialist Party. So those are open positions. Again, if you're interested in any of those positions, you can talk to me or you can email info@uhurusolidarity.org. So without any further ado, I would like to go to the next slide and just once again state that this is our slate for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Steering Committee. Uhuru Chairman.
Comrade Chair, Jesse Nevel. First of all, I'd just like to salute you and congratulate you for returning as chair of Uhuru Solidarity. A well-deserved post. I want to unite with everything that Comrade Penny has said about why you were reappointed to that position. You have transformed this organization. You've turned this into an amazing contribution to the African Revolution. So I wanted to congratulate you on that and salute you. Secondly, what I wanted to do, Comrade Jesse, is to move that we accept this slate for the National Steering Committee members that you have put forward. I'd like to move that we accept this slate and open it, for whatever. I don't know if there's a second. It's been moved and second, and perhaps whatever discussion you would have for that. But I think I want to say these are extraordinary forces, and I want to agree with Comrade Chairwoman Penny in terms of the work that you've done to contribute to the development of an amazing set of leaders here. It's just extraordinary, and so I want to unite with that. And some of you I've been watching from a distance, just on social media and things like that. Some of you I've seen do some things that I thought were incredibly significant and take stances that that I know in some instances were difficult because you had to contend even in your own personal lives with opposition to certain things about our party in particular, or how it was interpreted at certain times. So I just think it's an incredible crew, and I'd like to move, and it's been second, and so I don't know if you wanted to.
Well, thank you so much, Chairman. Yes, so we have a motion, we have a second, so gotta get my Robert's Rules of Orders here. So now, open for any discussion. Call the question. All those in favor of electing this slate for the National Steering Committee of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, please raise your voting cards at this time. Hold on a second. Where's my phone? I gotta get a picture of this. Okay, thank you. Okay, we can lower your voting cards now. All those opposed to the election of this slate for the National Steering Committee of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, please raise your voting cards at this time. Okay. That is unanimous. Uhuru! Unity through! Unity through! Hands off Uhuru! From sea to shining sea! From the river to the sea! Uhuru! Congratulations to the National Steering Committee of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Uhuru. Oh, we will, yes, we should get a picture. Let's bring the National Steering Committee up.
And can't you do it even with some of the people on the social?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, we're gonna take a picture in front of this banner right after we adjourn, and then a whole group photo. So just so you know. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back over to our MC.
Uhuru! This has been such an exciting convention.
Yes.
This is a powerful team of revolutionary comrades.
Yes.
We're winning. We will win over 1,000 members to USM this year. Thank you, Uhuru. Thank you to everyone for showing up. I need to salute again the chairman, deputy chair, Penny and Jesse, and to thank everyone that's come and participated, especially our new members and volunteers that I can tell are excited to already get in and build branches and build USM. I want to thank the volunteers that people maybe didn't see, the logistics team, the security team, the media team that worked really hard. I'd like to thank one more time our endorsers, the Green Party of St. Louis, Veterans for Peace, especially Josh, Vice President, for coming all the way from Fresno. African National Women's Organization, Universal African Peoples Organization, Women Against Military Madness, Homes for All St. Louis, InPDUM, Center for Political Innovation, Green Party Peace Action Committee, Green Party of Kansas City, Interfaith Committee on Latin America, Communities One Project St. Louis, Party of Communists USA, American Student Union, San Jose Peace and Justice Center, who hosted a watch party this weekend for the convention. The United National Anti-War Coalition, Journey for Justice, Real Progressives, and Missouri Cure. And then in closing, I would like to invite the chairman and Chairwoman Petty to see if you have any closing comments. Uhuru.
Uhuru. I did want to just really salute James.
Yes.
I wanted to say James. Yeah. Don't forget your husband. Great job. You did a great job on logistics, and I really appreciate it. And I just want to say, I am so confident that we are going to win millions of other North Americans. I love my comrades who are here. We are in the trenches together. Yeah. We're going to win. We're under the leadership of Chairman Omali Shatella, the African Revolution. We're pushing back the state, putting the state on trial, and building a movement, an incredible movement that for the first time in history will be in a principled relationship to African people under the leadership of the African Revolution, and recognizing this is our revolution. This is the future of the planet that we want to live in. We are out there creating this and making this now. I want to salute all the people who I don't know you that well, that you're new here. I welcome you. This has been historic. We are winning. It's so powerful to be on the winning side, not on the side of this sick, parasitic government and system that we live in, that brings the worst in every person, that under the leadership of liberation, of the spirit, of the unity of all oppressed peoples, and it shows where our role can be, not as the colonizer, not trying to control the things and intervene and have opportunism or build something for ourselves at the expense of others, but now in a future in which the planet can be saved, because it would be back into the hands of the people who were part of the whole, environment, not conquering it, but part of it. And this is a future. I want to salute you, comrade, who wants to build in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Yes. That's so powerful. Yeah, we're going to make that happen. And all of you who have come, who have been here, comrade Chris out there, just friends, just so many comrades. We are here. We are winning. We are on the winning side. African people are going to be free. Palestine will win, and the indigenous people will have their land back, and there will be peace on this planet under the leadership of the liberated African working class and peoples on the world coming together to end war, to end oppression forever. So, Uhuru, Chairman.
Uhuru. I'd just like to really state that I really see you as a statement of success for the strategy for winning African liberation, because what you represent really is a blow to the jugular vein of the system that has required on complicity by white people. Yes. This absolute solidarity with the colonizers, with this cruel system of brutality, the assumption that you can be paid with blood, that has come from all the suffering peoples of the world, to be complicit, to continue to unite with this. And they've done it in a fashion where they've tried to shut up any opinion that's coming from those of us who've been murdered, who've been killed as a part of the process of building and sustaining this thing. That's been historic. This didn't just begin just now. This has been historic, so that you didn't have to hear from those of us who are being murdered. In fact, even opening our mouths would get us killed in grotesque ways. I mean, people have been boiled in oil and things like that just for talking about what was happening to us. We've seen situations in this country in my lifetime where white men have been able to come to our homes and rape our women, etc., and expect silence from us, etc. It has been humiliating. It has served an extreme brutal assault on the psyche of our community. Even I can't even go into how grotesque it is, but we have broken through this absolute solidarity with colonialism, and I really want to appreciate that and your presence. And I want to unite with those who've talked about the role that Comrade Penny Hess has played in this process. It cannot be overstated. All the struggles, and there were many. There were many, 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 many struggles. You've heard all the brilliance up here on this platform, et cetera. But I remember, Comrade Jesse, we just went through this process of saying, how are we going to pick leaders? And you just went through this whole thing, these incredible forces. I remember a process when we were talking about who was going to be the leadership of APSC. And somebody was put forward because she's very good with her lover. You know, so, you know, this was the lesbian woman good with her lesbian lover, et cetera. And then I'm bug-eyed watching this. And so, I mean, just the kind of struggles that we had to go through. I want to appreciate the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, the veterans who are here. I mean, because to even be here has to mean that not only have you absorbed certain kinds of studies and information and ideology and philosophy, but you've done it in the process of severe struggles, because we believe in criticism and self-criticism. This is part of what keeps us accountable. This is what makes us capable of enduring the kinds of garbage and nonsense that the United States government is claiming of us. They throw this garbage at us, and we engage. This is nothing. I mean, Joe Biden, I debate him any day. Come sit here and have a discussion with us. I mean, you can say all these things that you want to say, because we are experiencing struggle among ourselves, people who love us, people who love the revolution. We engage in criticism and self-criticism to solve problems. That's the thing that makes us able to walk out the door and deal with anything that the prosecution is saying, that Joe Biden and his crew is saying, because we've gone through these struggles in order to advance this revolution among ourselves. With people who love us, with people who love the revolution, with people who care about us, we protect the revolution in that fashion. So I think that's important. And people who've been here, the veterans who we were talking about, have gone through that. Penny Hess has gone through that. And sometimes very sharp ways, et cetera. And because you don't just criticize in a nice way, sometimes you can't hear if you criticize nicely. Sometimes you have to draw the line in very sharp ways in order to get our attentions. That's what happened here in Ferguson. There was a very sharp criticism that Africans made against the murder of Mike Brown. And this sharp criticism got the attention of the state. So we've got that. There are people in this room. You know what I'm talking about, some of you. I remember Huey P. Newton once, when he spoke at the Uhuru House. What year was that? 86? When he spoke, was it 86? The 86 he spoke. And he said, he made the statement, he says that he doesn't like speaking that much. He said he's not very good at it. He said, Bobby Seals usually does that. He said, I'm not good at speaking. He said, but they say I'm pretty good with a gun. Do you remember anybody? You remember that, Red Beard?
That, but I remember him.
Okay, so yeah, that was said in the room, and I'm saying that because we've talked about some roles that some people here have played, in this movement, but some of you were there when they came to kill us at other times, right there in San Francisco. And they did kill people, and they did shoot people and whatever. They shot Festender. They killed comrades who were involved in the whole prison movement, etc. And then they came to do harm to us, right? And you know, there's one comrade in the room right now where you know she wasn't good at making speeches, but I think she was good with a gun, you know. I mean, and that became necessary to be able to defend ourselves in our revolution, etc. We ain't shoot nobody, so we ain't shoot nobody. But what we did was make it clear, because there was a politic that was out there that assumed that if you were not doing all clandestine work, then you were some kind of wimps who were there to be pushed over, etc. Maybe people who came and attacked us on July 29th thought that. It was a mistake. And they made a mistake too when the days that I'm talking about now. There are people who were there. There are people who, in this room, we didn't talk about the trips that Redbeard made when we were moving from San Francisco or from Oakland, going into St. Petersburg, Florida. He was a truck driver. And he made 2 trips, and he made a trip one time, he was 10,000 pounds overweight. Can you imagine that? And he was overweight because we were carrying in part all kinds of equipment that we used to open up our gym in St. Petersburg, Florida, that I have been storing at my home. I've been buying it piece by piece for years, storing it at my home, and that was part of the load that Redbeard put on that truck. He made 2 trips, and that's just part of it, because Redbeard is a dear comrade, you know, and at times of crisis in our movement, Redbeard was somebody I was able to call on. And I want to say that, you know, so we have so much respect and love for all of you, these veterans, and want to respect PEG. I never saw a PEG before, and here we are fighting back. They've taken the money from our radio station, and we are going to go to the meeting of the county commission, demand to give us the money back. And we've organized all these people to come to unite with us. And then before any of us stand up, I see this white woman walks up, and she's, what do you take? She challenges them. She attacks them. I said, who the hell is that? And that was Comrade Peg. That was the first time I saw her, and she's been here, you know. And so, you know, we just have a array of forces, and I talk about the veterans. And these are the veterans who have made it possible now for this new generation to spring up. And so the attacks that they made on us, they not only have they been futile, they have generated new growth. And that's what happens when you throw fertilizer or shit on certain kinds of things, you understand? You get new growth. You understand? And that's what we see, you know, springing up out of that. There are people who came to the movement precisely, if they didn't come because of the attack, they came despite the attack. And this is a new character. This is a new kind of movement that we are growing here. I want to appreciate the presence of Veterans for Peace. Yes. And they came into the Uhuru movement, but I'm going into the Veterans for Peace too. Yeah, I am a veteran, and I agree with the comrade Josh, who talked about, you know, I was an employee of the major corporations and what have you. I didn't know it. I mean, I'm in Berlin, Germany, in a tank facing Russians who've never done a damn thing to us. While the United States government and sectors of it were killing Black people throughout the South for just trying to join Joe Biden's organization. And so I'm joining them because now I see some veterans who agree with Smedley Butler, about that, and I want to be able to have that relationship. So, and guess what? You know, the thing is that I was a pretty decent soldier. You know, I knew how to soldier, etc. And then part of what I learned, even in that military, has served me well in organizing on the streets in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Oakland, California, and various other places that I've had to go. And the fact of the matter is that had it not been for Africans who had participated in the First Imperialist World War, World War I, as they like to call it, when they attacked us in 1921, when they attacked us at Tulsa, Oklahoma, and some of these other places, there was African who had fought for America who picked up their guns. These are veterans who picked up their guns and fought back and helped to defend the African community. And so that was, if they did anything valuable, significant, the U.S. military did that in providing that kind of training, and that was used in defense of the people. And guess what? And now we are talking about, I want to go into the veterans for peace, because what our belief is, and we said it before, peace through revolution. And so I want to participate there so that we can, as we did in the first part of the 20th century, is that the 20th century I'm talking about? Yeah, defending the people, etc. Now we've extended the revolution. I want to participate in that. And now the defense has become greater and behind enemy lines even. So that's part of what we're talking about. And I really want to express appreciation for the Green Party, you know, and this is unity that did not come without struggle. And it is like all things, unity and struggle. That's the relationships that we have, generally speaking, unity and struggle. And we've seen a consequence development from that, and our relationships have developed from through that and what have you. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And there are other forces who, you know, with whom we have this unity and organizations and what have you. There's some who have extended a kind of unity that I'm not sure about right now, to tell you the truth, even though they're really friendly. I'm not sure about, but I am sure about CPI. And Comrade John, you know, I mean, these have been fierce defenders, I mean, and supporters and what have you. They've gone into some hostile environments and fought around this question of support for the Uhuru 3. They've initiated struggles and protests and solidarity, etc. So I want to just really express deep and profound appreciation for that. This is a whole new movement. This is a whole new world that we're involved in creating. This is a manifestation of the success of something that we started in 1970 something. Well, we started with the tactics and strategy paper, but even before that, it was 1976 that we organized the African People's Solidarity Committee. And so I just want to say that this is a clear example, I think, of the success up to this point of African Revolution, and the fact that we haven't died. We've simply extended ourselves in a way that's going to make it extraordinarily difficult for them to crush us, no matter what happens to us by this attack right now. The revolution will live, and we will help it to live, and you will help it to live. And I just want to express my deepest, most profound appreciation for this convention, for African People's Solidarity Committee, for Uhuru Solidarity Movement, because the fact is we are winning, and what we like to say is vanguard up, right? And relentless Uhuru, relentless Uhuru. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Unity through? Drop the charges? Okay, we're gonna take a group photo. If anyone would like to stay and help clean up, find James, who is right there in the yellow shirt. And this concludes the Uhuru. Yeah.
The next song is. Play the can. Everybody please gather in front of the banner for the group photo. Well. Yes, give it a shot. Yeah. Yes.
Can I call you Rose? 'Cause you're sweet like a flower in bloom. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? 'Cause your fragrance takes over the room. Can I call you darling? I wanna plant you in my heart. Oh, so love can grow. Can I call you Rose? 'Cause your thorns won't let love in too soon. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? 'Cause your roots have the power to consume me. I wanna plant you in my heart. Oh, so love can grow.
All the mighty fans out here. I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. It was I who shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. You see, all around in my hometown, But I said, I shot the sheriff, but I swear it wasn't self-defense. It was I who shot the sheriff. A capital offense. Sheriff John Brown where did I? For what? I don't know. Every time I plant my ganja seeds, it's a kill them before they grow. It's a kill them before they grow. But I say, I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy.